We're live, finally. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. I
Spaghettied again.
This is more of an impromptu stream. We're going to have a little more relaxed format. We hope to get people on who may not have been getting their voices heard. This will be mostly Service, Dart, and Pigeon and Sour's operation. I won't be as active as I usually am because I do have an important project I am working on. And
why is everything an operation with you, John?
No, he's building the ark. He's building the ark. He's saving us, Gamergate. He's saving us one by one.
So, John, aren't you actually going to have to stay in the Hangout to actually be able to stream it?
I believe I can leave and they'll still be running. I believe. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, we'll actually need you to you just mute it or something. But
Yeah,
we'll probably
if I
need
have
you in
to
there.
What I'm going to do is if I have to leave, I will mute it, and you guys can keep talking, basically. So I'll just be filling up a slot. And then that has the benefit of being able to see my... that has the benefit of being able to see my adorable panda face, so there you go.
Did you just say you'll be filling up a slot?
Service.
Don't worry, spots will be very plentiful here.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, we're not going to let people stack. We're going to kick them out when they're done.
I have hired
that's
Pigeon to be my doorman, and he will be inviting the guests on, so all you have to do is follow him, and if he follows you back, you'll be able to DM each other, and he'll be able to send you a link. So there's that. All right, so what do you guys want to talk about today?
We're probably going to watch the Arthur Chu interview, but what else are we going to do?
Behind the scenes, it took 4 attempts for John to get the tweet right. Just want to, behind the curtain, behind the, the director's cut edition, we got kind of, oh, it's awesome! I can see the space worm and the pigeon. That's
I'm competing with Paul for King of Spaghetti.
You win. It's just nobody knows you're a retard.
Well, I can live with that.
You didn't send me the link, so I can pimp this. Send me the link.
Anyway,
I've got it for you.
Oh, alright.
No,
so...
I need a link to the Twitter.
Oh. I don't know about that.
The tweet. I need John's tweet with the stream address.
Okay, all right. Relax. Calm down.
Okay. I am calm. Don't tone police me.
Tone police.
Combo breaker.
Oh man.
Right,
Wow, we've got 9 viewers already, and we've talked about precisely fuck all.
Yeah, it's only been 2 minutes.
Are we literally going to have to talk about sex for favors?
No. Alright, John, Dart, you're going to have to finger John. It's the only way we're going to break the 5k mark.
Putting on my gloves right now.
It looks so weird when you see a space worm say that. It looks perfect.
All right. To give you guys some direction, do you guys want to start watching the David Pakman interview right now, or would you rather wait?
Absolutely.
Let's wait. Yeah.
It's a 30-minute interview, so we might as well get started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's play it.
And remember, we'll be commentating over it. We won't be muting ourselves because that's just silly.
Well, I mean, we'll take time. We'll pause it and then we'll talk. But we want to be muted.
Okay.
I'm watching it from 10 seconds in. So.
All right. I'm gonna mute myself. Well, actually, everyone will be.
What?
Yeah. No. He accidentally muted everyone. But so we'll be watching the Arthur Chu interview, and we'll be stopping for commentary. So, Sal, thank you ever so much for stopping by for 15 minutes of watching Arthur Chu shit all over himself. I hope you enjoyed.
Oh, great.
We'll see how it goes.
What's going on? Are we starting?
Yes, we're going to start. So, thank you, chat, for tuning in and prepare to watch us spaghetti all over. Wait, John. Can the stream see the interview?
They should be able to.
No, you have to have the YouTube app open.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
Yeah, on your screen.
Hold on a second. I do have it up on my screen, but it's not appearing in the stream itself.
Well, it's a bit behind the stream.
Yeah, let's see for a moment. If I click on my face, or
Alex Kakel says, "Just listen, chew. Christ, I don't know what to say." So
right.
that's a good start, right?
Let me go play up the YouTube app and let's see. Let me check the stream now. Technical difficulties, people.
I just farted.
Great stream, guys. We're done. We're wrapping it up. Yeah.
Well, we need, as I say, we could do a perfect parody of all the other streams. You know, let's just talk shit about.
Does
each
anyone
other's
else
respective content.
SJWs? Does anyone else SJWs?
Is that really what we're going to talk about? Are we going to start going tinfoil too?
Yeah, let's talk about the Holocaust.
Let's talk about you and Dart. Let's talk about all the good things, all the bad things that can be. Let's talk about Dart.
Okay. I see that there's an issue. I can't actually show this the video feed because apparently I don't know why.
Can they listen to it?
Quite possibly. I don't know. Hold on a minute.
Oh my God.
Well, okay, chat. Alex, please tell us if you can actually hear it in about 4 minutes when you initially get this message. So, please do. Because they're dropping us spaghetti.
All right.
This is mostly spaghetti.
Press the play button. Does anyone have anything else to say before I press play?
9/11 was an inside job.
Everything you stand for. I love John.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Oh shit!
Are we live?
Okay, chat's hearing nothing. So technologically inept.
Okay. Let me do. Did we lose somebody? Pigeon.
Pigeon.
Pigeon was too cool. Pigeon's too cool for us, apparently.
Oh God.
Welcome back, Pigeon.
Sorry about
This is,
It's all right.
This is literally spaghetti.
that. But
I think I know what your problem is. It's all the other streams run off something like OBS. So that's literally running off your screen rather than frickin' Google Plus.
Yeah, you have to share your screen, John. So you need to hide all that porn, and then actually have it running off your stream. So you need to be in here. You need to be actively.
Okay. Let me
You
see.
need to share your screen, which is one
Share
of
my
the
screen.
options on the left-hand side.
Okay, so basically, can I just click the Google Hangout window that I'm using?
Yeah.
Let's see.
We probably should have taken a little more time to figure this out.
Well, yeah. Essentially, hold on a second. Okay, I know exactly what to do here. Hold on.
Wow, this dead air is so tasty.
Wait a minute. What ethnicity is Chew exactly?
I believe Chinese.
Panda.
Panda.
No, it's Panda. Yeah,
Okay.
Panda.
You know, I heard he is a comedian, so I went online and tried to, get some of his stand-up. And now I regret it entirely. He tried to do a joke, the panda goes to a restaurant and he eats, shoots, and leaves. So, yeah, he tried to do that, but he wouldn't, for God's sake, do the punchline correctly. He made up like this other punchline that really didn't do anything, if you can imagine.
I think it's because he's a little bit downsy. I'm
Are
just
you
gonna
are
put
you
that
are
out
you
there.
sure of that?
Are
you a doctor?
No, I'm not. I'm
Is that something you want to say on stream?
I'm going full poll here because we might as well. We've got a lot of dead air to fill due to the spaghetti that is infiltrating every orifice.
It's so tasty.
Well, you know what? Might as well just start discussing something. So.
Okay.
I mean, he says he's a comedian. I don't know what the joke was though, and I've seen other stuff he's done, and I don't know.
I'm just judging him by his detestable, tweets that he puts up. He's quite a horrible individual. Apparently, he was bullied in his early years.
Oh, I would have never guessed.
Based on his reactions to David Pacman, I think the interview probably went well. Not for him.
Yeah.
But for Pac-Man. Based Pac-Man. He's still getting shit for it right now.
Is he? I'm gonna go look at the twits things.
Oh yeah, he's been having to fight off a lot of people because I mean, just simply giving us a voice is a means to target him. Because
yeah, I know that, but you made it sound like stuff was happening right now.
Well, I imagine so. He's been in discussions for quite a while now.
Who's this?
David Pacman.
Oh, yeah. He's been doing quite well.
Apparently, I agree with Arthur Chu more than I disagree with him. Would love to know more of what you are implying. I don't know what he's agreeing with.
John, just fucking ditch the interview.
Is John dead?
Yes, I'm here. I've just muted my mic because I was working on technical stuff.
John, don't worry. Just ditch the interview. It's fine.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do more research on this. I'm actually, in all seriousness, I'm actually not this technologically disinclined. Just that apparently Google is not as it's not as user friendly as I thought it would be. I thought it would be just simply just put it up and then just hold on. It's okay. I can actually play the interview. Okay,
Yes.
it's a roundabout fashion, but I
Please
can play the
don't.
interview. Hold on one moment.
With a
Everybody
question.
shut their mics, and let's play it.
What's going on? I missed something.
It's not.
I don't think it. No, it's not working.
Yeah, no, John, just stop. Just fucking stop. Just.
John.
That's not how it works.
Dead. Oh no, it was working.
John.
It is working.
Is it?
No, it's not. It's not.
It's on there. Stop being a dildo. It's there. I can see it. See? Yay! We might need subtitles. Yeah, we need subtitles. Oh wait, no. Wait, what's going on?
Okay, apparently someone in the chat says we got the audio but not the video. So
Oh, just fucking scrap the interview. Jesus Christ.
all right, yeah, I gotta defer to Pigeon on this one. I thought we just got lucky right at the very end and we were able to play it, but ultimately that was not the case. So, do you want to just talk Arthur Chu in general? Because
Yeah,
I don't think this interview will really shed any more light
Hey, we
about him.
can't get lucky. We're gamers. That's how things work.
I like to get lucky.
I didn't make enough prayers to RNGesus this morning.
You obviously
Darn,
didn't.
Jesus does not like you, apparently.
No, he's.
I don't think anybody likes you, John.
Hey, we'll have
Nah.
everything figured out when we stream.
Okay.
Yeah. We did that last time.
Dart did say that last time.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, Sargon just retweeted, so we better come up with something.
Alright,
Alright,
guys.
everybody done. Da-da-da-dun, da-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
He must really like you, Seb. Seriously.
No, he just tolerates my existence.
He's just like, oh, this cunt. Alright.
Oh god.
I guess I got to placate him for a bit until I can throw him by the wayside like a cheap whore.
I think
Here's
something
an
that we...
interesting topic. Do you guys want to talk about the state of Operation Disrespectful Nod? Hasn't been that much news about advertisers pulling out as a result from it, and with recent scandals within Gamergate that have come about, which I don't want to discuss in detail, but it seems there is a lack of motivation to continue the letter writing campaign. Is my perception accurate in this, or would you guys think that there's that the operation just isn't working, or something else?
I think it initially had some pull. I don't like being told by individuals quite so brazenly to do it, or you're not part of Gamergate type of thing. That can fuck off and die in a fire. Yeah, and our own controversies kind of shit all over, the ethics that we're trying to push. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny seeing unethical people using the word ethics.
Well, it's just like that entire thing of us trying to not look like misogynists, yet we're doing a real damn well great job at looking like chauvinists, a lot of the time. Which isn't quite the same thing, but it's nearly there.
Yeah, we're nearly there.
I think we just need a little restructuring, little refocusing, a little turn of the knob here and there, and we might be set in the right direction again.
You can turn my knob any day, Dart.
I knew you'd do that! You fucking predictable bastard!
You couldn't afford it, sweetie.
Shit, son.
Oh, there's nothing better than having a space where I'm telling me I can't afford it.
Right, can someone ask the grape what she thinks?
I think coffee.
That's good. And moving on.
Brilliant.
Have some
all
input.
I want is like Operation, please fucking give me an apology. That's all I really want right now from Cotillo and all the rest of them. That's all I really want. I know they're not going to, change what they do, and they really don't want to. And honestly, I was doing some more research yesterday into Leigh Alexander and the GDC, and the way she framed her argument against really the so-called trolls that we are, I guess is what she said. It was the GDC speech from 2013, and she was talking about, as what women always talk about, is a story about how hard her job is and about how people on the internet make it difficult. And what she really meant, or what she said, I can link it to you guys. Let me see if I can find it. We're not her audience, is basically what she said. We're not her audience, and we never were supposed to be. She only writes for people who develop games. So the fact of even saying anything, and we meaning just gamers in general, I guess, is an insult to her. And basically, that's what I've gotten from most of the other magazines, that you were never our audience to begin with, so why are you upset now that we admitted that?
Yeah,
well, that's a terrible way to handle the front.
It is.
Gamergate for me now, I a lot of what we were worried about before, I'm not really worried about anymore. The journalists, I never really listened to them to begin with, but now I'm just wanting to stick up for devs like Daniel Vavra. I'm just wanting to stick up for the devs now, but you can't really speak for the devs, just like you can't really speak for other people. So we just need to encourage devs to start speaking up, and that's really something that we're going to probably start working toward.
Yeah,
I
it was in the
agree.
speeches. Hashtag one reason to be, and it was just a bunch of women developers talking about basically the industry and their stories. Basically, women's story time circle talking horribleness.
That sounds like fun. I'm sure everyone would love to talk about that.
There's an
So,
inherent problem with Leigh Alexander's argument that she's not writing for gamers. She may be writing to developers, but developers ultimately are making games for gamers, people who play games. So if she's going to be writing to developers about gamers, well, it's kind of like it's kind of like trying to use developers as a shield for her to deflect criticisms of her articles. Because ultimately, gamers are going to be passionate and they're going to be interested in the process of developing games as well as actually playing them. So she has to also keep them in mind when she writes her articles. So when she comes out with a slanderous article like "Gamers are dead," and we even had an anti-Gamergate person on last show we had Sunday saying that basically he didn't agree with Leigh Alexander's article and he thought that she was crazy with that. So if that's a person who's against Gamergate saying that, then Leigh Alexander needs to do some introspection and really think about her writing style.
Wait,
if
what?
that's her position.
Introspection? Oh my God, that's a patriarchy term. You cannot tell women to think about themselves like that, you misogynist pig.
Of course, I am a shitlord. I mean, I check my privilege every day in the morning. I'm like, oh yes, I am a misogynistic shitlord. Sorry, I'm male.
If she wants to continue to write Mills and Boon-esque type love letters to developers, why doesn't she just do it in private? You know,
because money.
Because money. Well, that's even more dangerous then, because I've previously called out Leigh Alexander when she wrote a Kotaku piece saying, "I'm the biggest fangirl ever with regards to Metal Gear Solid." And then she proceeded to tell Hideo Kojima not to make Metal Gear Solid 5. Her argument at the time, which was really blinkered, was like, well, Snake's really old now, he can't do a 5. Oh, so they couldn't go back into the rich, history.
That
of
sounds
Metal
like
Gear
some
Solid.
ageism right there to me.
Well, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, no, sorry, circle jerking, coming, yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Shall we circle jerk each other?
No. We can't do that on
I don't have
stream.
anything to jerk. Damn it. I'm a loser.
Oh, just
Where's your husband? And we can help him out. It's fine.
yeah.
Okay.
Get that useless underpaid asshole in here.
Magic Bubblehead says we need to promote our shit instead of finding flaws that the opposition come up with.
I'll promote my
I
shit.
agree. Like the thing is that a lot of people seem to be saying that, oh my god, we're doing such a great job at promoting all these other websites. I'm sorry, guys, they are fucking tanking at the moment. Like having, I know, niche gamer or fucking GameSnosh onto your stream to tell you about how great their website is doing. It's all well and good when their numbers went from about 15 to 500. It's still not viable. It's still not a Kotaku or a Polygon.
Yeah, they're still having to depend on your clicks as their main sort of source of ad revenue, and we're not clicking. We're not even going there. We're not. I mean, I'm guilty of it because, to be honest, I never used to read any of the other people were trying to burn down, because I stopped reading them because they were awful a long time ago. But
that's the same thing with me. I stopped using journalists and games reviews altogether because I can tell what games I will be able to enjoy and what games are actually good.
Which then stands the argument of why we're doing this in the first place then, because half of us here probably don't even look at these websites anymore.
I think the problem is that...
Keep go. That's fine.
No, I think the problem is that the reason we don't look at these websites is because they're all essentially shit posters in general. Like, it's nothing to do with real video games.
But then we're not reading the new media that's created as well. We've already made our opinions generally on a game when we see a trailer these days. Or the E3 coverage. That's what I'm saying, is maybe that's the reason that we aren't supporting the new stuff, is we as gamers, these have got to a point, us in particular, where we don't really need it anymore. I'm just throwing that out there.
I think that's fair. Like, I think that one of the only real things that most gamers nowadays, I guess hardcore game. I hate that term, but yeah, I guess more. Yeah, hardcore gamers. Fuck it.
Yeah, that sounds very sexual.
Yeah. Oh, hardcore. Yeah, no.
God.
No, the problem is that I think the only thing we really take from these sites anyway is like their video reviews of games to see if like there is like any particular opinion or if they're shit or good. We don't really take them that seriously, but I do think that is like the one thing we do actually look at a lot of the time. I mean, I haven't really read Kotaku ever, mainly because I think the only article I've ever seen from there was about a guy who hired a bodyguard in Battlefield 3, as in he actually paid a guy real money to follow him around and protect him in a video game, and I was like, fuck this shit. This is
Oh yeah,
bad.
I read that. That was fucking weird as well. I read actually one of the last articles I read were like people doing as a business running their MMO characters basically while the other person slept or worked. They'd grind for them. That was a long time ago. That was during like WoW and other sort of things like that. I mean, I'm looking through Niche Gamer at the moment, and I've looked through the first 3 pages, and there's only about 2 articles there that I'd potentially read, and I'm not even, if I was just stumbling across the website itself, it actually kind of looks a bit sort of amateurish as well.
Shield mode
in comparison
activated.
to them.
Yeah, this is my shield mode activated. Review. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, this is just this is just me and my opinion on Niche Gamer at the moment. I've only been on there a couple of times before, and it doesn't really look attractive. It's not one of those ones that you really want to keep coming back to, despite all the anime tits, basically. Yeah,
I think the only website I've seen that's pro Gamergate that I particularly like the layout and their journalism on was Review Labs. And they're not doing well at all at the moment. Like it's a very pretty website. It's got great writing. Like it's called the Hallmarks. Yeah, I know for a fact that's not doing well.
I just think it goes back to the focus, and Gamergate's not really focused. The other day I looked at my Twitter feed, and it was nothing but people trying to character assassinate Arthur Chu. Now, yeah, he does have an interview with Pac-Man, so I mean we can discuss that. But, I mean, Ralph Retort was coming out with articles about him. I mean, people were just kept on retweeting and talking about Arthur Chu and something. I don't even know what the story was with him and some rape victim or something. It didn't seem relevant. It just seemed they were trying to character assassinate him. We don't need to be doing that. We need to worry about ourselves because Gamergate has a tendency to just lash out to people, and it's more of an offensive thing. We need to worry about ourselves and strengthen ourselves and to promote things that we do and try to make bridges with the devs. And
yeah, and like rather than, it seems that every Gamergate related hashtag I see on my feed is usually people fighting with each other. Like, I know sometimes it's infighting, sometimes it's fighting, quote unquote, the anti-GG side, but it's very little to do with ethics in gaming journalism. Like people aren't usually pointing out, for example, the fact that most award shows are completely fucking rigged and bought off. Yeah. Like it's blatantly obvious. We've known this for years, but why aren't we doing anything about it? Why aren't we looking into those areas? People go,
isn't the VGAs voted on? Like most of the games are voted on by journalists.
Yeah, and like that isn't the problem with that like so blatantly apparent when you get things like such terrible games like often winning all the awards and you're like, this game isn't even out yet. How the fuck does it have 5 awards?
They generally, that's why they've used E3 to basically at the moment as an extended PR marketing exercise. A lot of those awards are usually won at E3, and you read them on the back of the book.
A good example. Yeah, a good example of that was I was trying to play Evolve, and firstly my PC just cannot run it because apparently 560 Ti isn't good enough for a graphics card.
Wow.
And like, that was the one thing, and then the other thing was that it was essentially queuing simulator, and I really like the look of Evolve, but we literally could not get into a fucking game whilst we had American people on our team, and then as I quit the game because I can't get it to play, it's won 5 awards at E3.
Oh, I saw that too, and I was thinking the same thing because you exit and there's like all the awards, and I'm like, how does this game have all these fucking awards when it's an alpha? It's an alpha.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even an alpha when it was at E3. That's the sad thing. Like it wasn't There was just like
Wasn't there
three
some
rated
controversy about Evolve though? Wasn't there some
What's that?
controversy? Yeah, I'll look it up while you guys talk. And have you had any people wanting to come on, Pigeon? Are you actually checking your
Yes,
tier?
I have Tara. Would we like to add Tara into the mix?
Bring the
Yes,
Tara in.
Yeah, let's add the wonderful Tara in.
Now, to be fair with the Evolve thing, I mean, I didn't get a good look at all the awards, but I mean, there are awards for most anticipated and stuff like that, and those I guess are okay. But I mean, if they're legit awards,
Here we go. Evolve community manager fired after Twitter racism. This happened on the 2nd of May.
so he can be easily fired for that. And the people,
Well,
I don't know,
read the article anyway.
kind of silly. But hey, you know what? That's what happens.
That's what happens.
I tell you
What
what.
happens, man?
I tell you what.
What?
What? But yeah, no, it just, I don't get why we have all these really arbitrary awards now. Most anticipated
wait,
game.
This is the controversy. This is the controversial tweet. Here's an unpopular opinion. Donald Sterling has the right as an American to be an old bigot in the security of his own home. He's a victim.
That's racist.
Apparently, according to this, it was and this was the tweet basically. Owning claimed that Sterling had the right as an American to be an old bigot in the security of his own home and labelled him a victim.
Oh wait, wasn't that the guy who owns that team, one of the American sports teams?
Yeah. He's a bit of a racist, pretty much.
He was a bit of a racist, but he didn't actually say anything like actually racist. If anything, it kind of implied that all of his friends are racist. He was like, I just don't want you taking pictures with black guys. You can fuck them. He says that. Nobody mentions that. You can fuck them. Just don't be out like taking pictures with them.
Sterling can be heard telling Stiviano not to bring black people to NBA games and talking of an understanding between two that she would remove all her black friends from her Instagram account.
Tara,
what conversation did you drop me in the middle of?
Hello, Tara.
Your webcam's on, by the way, if, just in case you didn't know.
Tara, did you come here to troll us?
No, a pigeon
I
invited.
invited her on. It's
No,
Tara.
I'm
She's
joking.
not.
Oh, she can leave the camera on if she wants.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Well, and we know why Pigeon doesn't mind.
Go fuck yourself.
Okay, what with my giant dildos?
Your boy pussy.
I am
Fuck
not
your
got
boy.
one of those.
Yes, you do.
I have a
Boys
hairy
have-
anus. Do you want that?
That's not much of a boy. Yeah, it's like this haggard, like old and worn out balloon
Yeah,
hole.
you sound like you've had personal experience on my arse yet, and we haven't even been for a drink yet. So, you know, the chronological storylines here, time of events aren't matching up. It's kind of like Zoe Quinn and Nathan Grayson. Oh.
Yeah, that's
No, but that actually does match up because they probably were fucking.
I love that. I love the argument that Stephen Totilo had of, well, there wasn't any breach because before he published an article on it, there was like a day, and there was like, really? So the person how many times have you fucked someone and like the time where your emotional bias didn't come into a play was literally the day you put your dick inside that person? Seriously?
It is quite funny though that has happened basically, because it's Stephen, that whole there is an article apparently that disappeared from Kotaku, or some kind of writing that was edited. I can't remember what, but it was a long time ago when Gamergate first sort of like started. There was something that looked like it got redacted and now can't be found anywhere. So, which had a link basically between the two. I mean, my memory's a bit fuzzy, but.
Oh, also, did we put the stream out on the proper channels on Kotaku and Action and whoever has the schedule for the streams?
No, because John would have to be competent at marketing.
Poor John.
Let me contact the right people for that. Hold on 1 second.
All right. Now, Tara? What were you gonna say?
Oh, I mean, I've been with my girlfriend almost a year,
Not much
and we went
Tara's
home
here
the
for
first
emotional
night.
support.
The fox is dead as well.
Guys, why are
Really?
you talking over Tara for?
Oh, wait, we can't hear her.
Oh, Google
Yeah.
Plus must be goofing up because that happens all the time when you can't hear somebody when they're talking.
She's muted on my thing.
Oh, she was just talking. It happens on Google Plus all the time. Like I was talking over Pigeon one time, and it wouldn't even.
Well, that's just because you're rude.
Well, yeah, that's true. But
What's happened to Sour Grape? Is she dead or?
According
Oh,
to
no.
game journalists, yes, I am dead. So.
all right,
okay. That's fine.
try talking again, Tara.
Hi.
Can you guys hear?
Hello, Tara.
No,
Not
I can't
sausage.
hear
I'm gonna exit the call and come back in. Be right back.
Yeah, it's
Tara's-
gonna be
oh.
Cerberus and Pigeon. So you guys.
no, Sour can't hear her either.
No, I can't hear her.
Let me drop and do that.
That happens for some reason. Google Plus is just goofing up. Sour, you'll probably have to leave and come back to be able to hear Tara.
Yeah, probably.
That's so weird.
I can hear her.
It's like 50-50.
Yeah, two of us can hear her, but the others can't.
Alright, hello?
Hello, Pigeon.
Tara, say hello, please.
Hello.
There we go! Woo!
See, pigeon. It was the pigeon holder.
Yeah, it was the pigeon all along. Yeah, so Sarah, if you just want to exit and come back in, and that should fix it. Should.
Yeah, I already did.
We
Oh,
lost
sweet.
Sour.
Yeah, Sour's
Sour's-
coming back.
Who killed Sour? Who
Lost.
killed Sour? I didn't kill Sour.
Oh,
See
nope,
it.
she's not dead.
So how large of an audience do we got going on for this shit show?
I
Hold
think
on,
we'll
hold on.
hit 50.
Huh?
Oh, really?
I send my deepest apologies.
You can't into English. You should meet John. He can't spell coot properly 3 times in a row.
It's funny because I'm usually the one talking shit. Like I've got the best English out of the whole bunch, and it's like here I am just stumbling out of all over my words.
I love you, Tara, but your tweets sometimes do make me laugh. Sometimes you do have some pretty horrific spelling mistakes in them.
Hey, I have dyslexia. Okay, it's
I know.
like
It was obvious, I know.
It's the Impression Olympics. Let's
So-
start it.
So to progress conversation, one of the main things that we like to talk about is the state of Gamergate right now, and we'd like to hear your opinion on that, Tara.
Well, it's kind of like a tornado right now where the opposition's just spinning out of control and it doesn't know what the hell to do with itself.
Yeah, but also the internal, most of our side and how things are operating. Like, do you think things could be a lot better, or what exactly do you think about that?
Oh, things could always be better. It's what happens when a movement has been going on this long. It's like we've been trolled. We've had people playing both sides from the very beginning, and we're just starting to see an escalation of that. Then you got people with bullhorns that are pretty dominantly loud voices, but certainly not leaders, and and they're making mistakes. And I'm not gonna name names, but it's like sometimes dicking around when you're have such an important and loud voice and a consumer revolt. It's like I don't want to tone police anybody. Do whatever the hell you want. I'm just saying that it's just evidence and what's the word I'm looking for? The opposition is not beyond using it to secure a victory for them. So that's the way I look at it.
And I think that's really what a lot of people think as well. I mean, even though, not going to, go into specifics, but even if you do something that doesn't have Gamergate in it, people are most likely going to use that against you anyways.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things where throughout this, it's like people are watching the things that we're doing, the things we're talking about, the things we're tweeting about, what we're talking about on our live streams, and even when we're just shooting the shit, presumably with our friends, it's like we're doing it on a public forum, and when you do that, you open yourself up for criticism, you open yourself up for to be essentially, transcripted and have everything you say and do read back to you. And for the people that have got pissy over that, it's just like, well, we're doing the same thing to them. So it's like, do you really expect them to play any differently? Like, if anything, they're gonna be worse at it than we are. So I'm just like, really? You didn't see this coming a mile away, huh?
So, chat says, too late for intros? Not sure who the speakers are, so I guess, just do a quick intro right now. I'm Space Worm or Dart Ison. I'm no one special. I'm just trying to get things together on Gamergate because I think we need to be more focused on certain aspects. And, yeah, just do roll call, I guess.
And I am Pigeon. I am known as Robin's Fluffer. I'm also involved with Carbon-Based Gaming, a project that you should all give us shekels for because it's going to be the thing that saves gaming, of course. I do plan to buy some Hot Pockets for the money, but most of it's going to be pretty fucking good. Seb, Doorman, would you like to have your intro?
I really just hate everybody.
Seb is Sargon's doorman. A lot of you are probably here from Sargon's retweet. This is due to Seb and his nepotistic ties with Sargon. Girlfriend. And who else? Guests. Oh no, John.
Oh God, John, don't talk about the Ark.
Well, John's the one hosting the stream right now. He's muted. He's a busy guy. He's got a lot of other things going on, but he's working on a certain operation for Gamergate. And our guests right now are Tara and Sour Grape. So if y'all like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tara. I'm at Hidden Tranny on Twitter. I've also done several YouTube videos throughout Gamergate. My most recent one was sort of like a defense video of Milo and like his spat with the trans community. That was more about him than it was Gamergate, but just as if Gamergate it has nothing to do with his trans issues, and it's like I don't know why they keep dragging it in, but I felt the need to not really white knight, but just explain why that happened and why it was an issue. But before that, a video that was totally underrated was I took Eric Johnson, who people really need to pay more attention to, because he's another one of these game journalists that went into Gamergate with an already predispositional bias against gamers and gamer culture, and he's the one responsible for getting Brianna Wu on television. Eric Johnson, look into it, people.
Yes.
And I am Sour Grape, and I have my little corner of the internet where I do YouTube videos about North Korea, how women aren't funny, and a lot about feminism. So.
My name is John Kelly. I'm actively involved with Gamergate. I'm working on a new operation, as we like to call them, to help the consumer revolt. I've been in several streams. I've been talking to several people, and trying to get the word out there and basically do my best at this consumer activism. Yeah, and I'm also responsible for how terrible the stream is. So if you want to send me your angry complaints, my secretary, Ordinary Pigeon, is available, and you can contact him at Ordinary Pigeon on Twitter.
I'm a very cute secretary, by the way. I just want to point this out.
You're a fucking sex fiend. Stop it.
It's a man, baby.
That's rich. It's rich. Thanks, Tara. Thank you. But yeah, no. If you anyone listening, if you want to come on the stream, just DM me at Ordinary Pigeon on Twitter, and we'll give you an invite on. Just don't blast any gore or child porn, and we should be fine. Okay. That's kind of those are our limits.
So racism is fine.
Yeah.
Come on.
And sexism is fine, Pigeon? Is that it?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, remember, we are the all-inclusive here. Everybody can view their opinion.
Yeah.
Sorry, air their opinions. Yeah.
View their opinions,
Yeah.
eh?
Ableism is fine. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that, sorry?
No,
Oh yeah,
I regularly
I'm just
curb
stretching
stomp
my
Down syndrome
legs.
people. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've already said that already, so it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Anyway, I'm stretching my legs. Look at my legs, they move. I'm able. Yeah.
Thank you for that contribution, sir.
So, has anyone looked into
No
this?
problem. I'm gonna fall asleep.
Has anyone looked into this Nick Denton stuff?
Yeah, I
Gawker Media?
saw. Shall I read out the thing he put on Facebook if I can find it?
I don't think it's necessarily been confirmed because it supposedly comes from Pole's informant.
Inside Gawker sauce.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, okay, shall we just read it and everyone put on their skeptical cap?
Yeah.
Remember, this isn't confirmed. This isn't, like, we don't know if this is real or not. But it looks, I'm just going to say, it doesn't look fake, but at the same time, I really wouldn't be surprised if it is. Yeah, so don't take this for fact, but yeah, I think it's worth still reading out. All right. So Nick Denton posted on Facebook, I believe about 16 hours ago. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you to myself and for those who are more than willing to accept a bit of financial compensation in exchange for causing a disruption. I couldn't have done it without you, and I appreciate all your hard work. For those of you who might be puzzled at the moment, I will clarify. You may have noticed over the last couple of months there's been a group of individuals eager to ruin my business endeavours at every turn for the sake of ethics. I would go as far as to use their preferred banner name, but after the work of my new colleagues, I don't see it continuing on much longer. Yes, the circus will finally be leaving town and business will continue as usual. Over the past few weeks, I tasked my employees for finding a means to destroy which has been rather resilient. Sorry, Britbong spaghettis everywhere. You cannot simply attack their leader when they have none, nor could you shun a group as a whole without them using their Rainbow Coalition to mitigate any claims. Fortunately for myself, I figured it out. I found a way to, as they would put it, kill the Batman. It was there all along, and oh so very simple. Infiltrate the group and kill them from the inside. The media parade that has been going on for weeks now hasn't done anything worth a damn. Time and effort thrown out the window with needless articles over this shit show. None of it has made a damn bit of difference until now. Everyone is eager to throw themselves at mainstream outlets, but none of them are eager to spend the money they are already using to fix this problem the right way. So I had someone send out the feelers looking for people to work on a special project for me. Those that made it through the screening have been taking part in an effort to police the group from the inside, causing a wedge to be driven amongst them. Today serves as evidence of money well spent. They have begun to crack, and their influential people are beginning to part ways with the group. Eventually, there will be such a small minority that it will just blow over and nobody will care. It feels good and I am proud of myself. I am slaying a giant and there is nothing they can do about it. How does one separate themselves from people claiming to be doing what is right for the group by tone policing? You can't, and it will continue to be the dagger that kills this silly group of entitled brats. Nick Denton, 57 likes.
It's quite interesting that because I heard a while ago that somebody was making a move to try and contact the heads of Gamergate, as it were, to flesh out terms. I find that kind of interesting. Some of the language used there was quite similar to what I heard back then as well. So.
I mean, I almost want to say that it's fake, like just because it sounds it sounds too good to be true, almost, you know, like that someone would use even those terms. Like it sounds like that'd be a really stupid idea to actually do, you know, if you weren't.
Could you imagine if it was just fake and like we broadcasted it out like it's you know. Nobody really thinks, do they, in this movement sometimes, you know, verify, corroborate, you know, let's hold off on this. No, let's spunk it all over the place. And if we look like idiots, you know, we'll run with that.
I don't know. Like, I think the thing is that I'm skeptical of this. I'm not saying that it isn't real, but at the same time, it does kind of feel like a Bond movie where the villain tells you his dastardly plan just before you have a chance to escape from his trap and ruin
Yeah.
it. You know, like it almost like if you were fucking up a movement so much, why would you? Why wouldn't you just keep your lips sealed about it until it was dead? At the very least, you know.
I have to say the same. I don't believe it either.
It's just too
think
good
from
to
a
be true.
marketing perspective, it's designed. If it was designed, it could just be a fluke. But if it was designed to create a witch hunt. That's its sole purpose because they said there is no leader, so they don't know how to attack anyone. So then you just get everyone to fight everyone for you, and then you don't have to worry about it. And it's like there are several newcomers that have stepped out into the limelight that I think a lot of people have been skeptical about, and I'm not naming names, but it's just like that's the whole thing. That whoever wrote this forgot that word. Like I would wager to say 99.9% of us are skeptical about everything we hear, as certainly about like anything we hear on the internet. So it's pretty stupid to think that we're just going to start witch hunting and hacking away at our own people, under the guise that there's a boogie monster out there and we need to find it. It's just like, no, we have an idea of who to be skeptical about already, and anybody else that wants to come onto the scene, it's like we're going to be skeptical about them too.
I'm very skeptical of that politician that's come out recently.
It does kind of feel like she's just using Gamergate for a political platform, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
The firefighter, scientist, Batman lady, I believe.
Yeah, that's now running for office in some kind of country.
Well,
just convenient.
In Austin, Texas.
There we go. It's a separate country from the United States, Texas.
Do you have a link to that article or a statement she made so I can verify this?
What do you mean? Her political candidacy? She was on the Daily Dot, which was quite ironic because the Daily Dot, shat all over Gamergate in the early stages, and now has given us a fairly, positive chance to represent ourselves. So I don't understand.
And I'd even be skeptical of that. Like, surely that might just be an attempt to get views. It's like, oh, these guys will, look at what they did for Milo. If we just do that kind of thing.
Well, isn't the Daily Dot a subsidiary of Gawker?
It might be.
I'm not sure if it belongs on what network is it that they're called? Fuck's sake! What is the Gawker? It's not the ones that own Gawker. Who are they?
UBM?
No, UBM's Gama Sutra.
Yeah.
If anybody could look it up right now, it would be good to know before we burrow down this rabbit hole.
It's on the top of the American Kotaku, who's the host.
Kinja?
Company. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Kinja, isn't it? Kinja.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the. Well, someone check if they're the owners of the Daily Dot as well. Might just be bullshit. Who knows?
I'm at the Daily Dot right now, and they don't have Kinja up here.
I mean, it's smart to try and cause a lot of infighting in Gamergate and to do the tone policing, but I don't see any reason for him to come out and say anything like that, especially right after certain events transpired.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense. Why not just keep the train going rather than out yourself?
Oh, sorry to interrupt. No, they're not part of Kinja.
Well, that's not interrupting. That's useful information. At least we know.
Lost and Found said that politician is Mackenzie Kelly.
Oh, yeah, Mackenzie Kelly.
Thank you, Lost and Found.
Scientist and... what was the other one?
Possibly
Scientist,
Batman.
firefighter...
I mean, if she is actually a firefighter, I mean, that's a pretty fucking hard job. I can't shut over that, but it does, it's a bit like with people with Milo. I still think that people are incredibly naive. Like, I remember going onto the Gaming Gate board on 8chan, And when Milo posted there, he was like, hey guys, what's up? And everyone was like, oh my god, based Milo, the leader of Gamergame, and like everyone lost their shit. It's like, you are the hero we deserve. And don't get me wrong, he did a huge thing for our movement. He did, but he was using us as much as we were using him, and people were very naive of that.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a question for everyone.
Go for it.
What seems to be this whole trend from some people like that just every time they say movement, they're trying to correct themselves and say revolt? Like, it's both, but it's like, what the hell difference does it make? They're synonyms.
Yeah, John.
I don't do that. I'm not one to get hung up over semantics. I don't know why people love correcting people on that. Like, oh, no. It's a consumer revolt, not a movement. It's kind of like how people want to just... It's really weird, and it's not like where Total Biscuit comes out and explains that he doesn't do reviews, he does first impressions. I get where he's coming from, but these other people are like, no, you can't call it a movement, even though it kind of is. I mean, even though we are decentralized, it's still kind of organized, and it's still a movement, still pushback. I call that a movement in one direction or another.
No,
So,
it is a movement. Even in definition, it is a movement. So, a revolt is a feeling of disgust in a way. So I guess you could say both, but I mean, a movement does not necessarily have to be a revolt. You don't really have to be disgusted in order to start a movement.
I'm disgusted all the time.
We should start a riot. This is a consumer riot.
I'm sure that'll go well.
Yeah, just put Roguestar as leader, and then we'll just burn it all down.
Well, it's so funny. He's supposed to be going away. Comes back every day.
I know. Well, no, that's just Roguestar. Like, everyone knows this about Roguestar now. He's a very emotional guy.
Let him do his own thing. Not really a problem. It's just Roguestar being Roguestar.
Yeah, he's done a lot for the movement. I feel like people have been a bit hard on him. I mean, he goes insane as shit. Like, he goes off the handle like every other day. But
so you don't agree that he's the Queen of Narnia?
Well, it's been so long since I read those books, I'm not even sure what that means anymore.
I don't even know what it means. There's no context to it. It's like someone tweeted, Roguestar could say that he's the fucking Queen of Narnia, and it would be a legitimate response. Then Roguestar replies, I am the fucking Queen of Narnia.
Well, there you go, guys. He's the Queen of Narnia.
Yeah,
well, I think that this really illustrates the point that it's just like, we bust each other's chops all the time, and we have been ever since we all met each other, and the same is rampant throughout Twitter. But then you have this, like, visceral group of shit posters that just want to, like, tear everyone down, but yet they claim they're a part of Gamergate, and it's just kind of like, that's what really makes me wonder if it's just like, all right, these are the trolls and these are the real people, because it's like the real people, they can bust each other's chops, but they're not mean about it. It's just like, it's like we're joking. We know we're joking. We don't take it seriously, and we also say good things about them too.
I think there are legitimate concerns. A lot of people try to turn police pole, and he's done better on his streams. I think those people that are overly critical of Poe are definitely some of the types that you might be talking about.
Yeah, I really don't like infighting of any kind. The tone policing, the police policing. It's like we've reached a point where people are actually talking in Kotaku in action, saying, we need to police the tone police so they can be policed.
Oh my god.
Yo, dog.
Just send emails, people.
Yes, please. Send those emails.
Hey, Seb, how many emails have you sent today?
Jack and shit. Yeah.
I knew you'd be honest.
Did you guys see the new photo that Sargon tweeted out? The Vivian James telling the new blonde chick that she needs to climb off her high horse. That was like priceless.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
I love the artwork the community has come out with. It's really good. Like there's images of like Hail Digra. There's this man is your friend. This man fights corruption. He's your friend. This man This man fights for corruption. He is your enemy. I love all the propaganda, the art images. The one that Sargon did a video of. There was another one where it's more of a photoplasty type of thing, where it just like shows all the people involved. It shows this megalomaniacal church of like all the SJWs, and it has like Jonathan McIntosh as reaching out with an Anita puppet to what was it? Like reaching out to like the god of the SJWs with as a caricature of the Michelangelo's famous painting. Someone.
What on earth?
The chapel.
The
Which chapel is it?
Chapel. The
Yes,
Sistine
that's the one.
Chapel.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I'm gonna try to find it again. It's Sargon tweeted out there, so it's really good.
Yeah, tag me in that. I want to see that.
Sargon also
Okay.
retweeted this stream, so this is really good by default.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, that's how big of a deal we are. We had Sargon retweet us, you know. And he only retweets quality stuff.
We love you, Sargon.
Yeah, Sargon's amazing. And you can fuck right off, sir. This is a quality stream right here.
Yeah, I'm totally. Yeah. Okay.
Service.
Sargon-
just like,
Sargon's
oh,
the
fucking
cleanest.
hell.
Sorry?
I just hear Service being snarky in the background. It's hilarious.
I know. He is quite
Oh,
bitchy.
well. I'm in total bitchy mood today. Well, I need to be tone police for my use of a word anyway, so that's bad.
By
I'm
the
a
way,
bad man.
Buddy in chat said that the lazy stream wasn't really GG focused, so which a lot of people seem to be missing the concept of a lazy stream.
Right.
And yes, you're right, but at the
Yeah.
same time, as you know, as willing as everyone is to say that there is no leader at Gamergate, there are definitely louder voices. When people tell me that there's streams that get 5,000 plus viewers of Gamergaters, it's usually these kind of streams. And I'm pretty sure it was tweeted out with the hashtag Gamergate by someone. I can't remember
It
who.
was tweeted out by poll as hashtag Gamergate.
Which
So,
I think is
'cause-
more of a bit of a fuck up on his part, but I'm not going to blame him for it. But yeah, fingering some person on stream and then going on about how Holocaust numbers were greatly exaggerated, whilst it might not necessarily be wrong, guys. Let's just keep that out of game, okay? Let's fucking not, okay?
Wait, isn't that related to Gamergate? Don't we hate everything and are crazy and, tinfoil hat wearing misogynerds?
Well,
Okay,
Really
according
shut
to that
slut
fucking
shaming.
stream, we were.
so I just got Margaret Gell to retweet our stream, so we
Yay.
might get an influx
Who's
of
this?
Nice.
Margaret Gell?
Oh,
Or
I
Gell?
love Margaret Gell. She's done so much to help the
Who?
movement.
She's really great on the harassment patrol. She really is.
Oh,
Yeah, she's pretty dope. I've talked to her on Twitter a couple times. She's done a few blasts for me when I needed it the most.
And she doesn't even try to get involved in streams and stuff. So she's really good on just being harassment patrol.
She's too cool
Can
for
someone
these
drop,
streaming things.
Can someone drop the Twitter thing, her Twitter in there? Because I don't know who you're talking about.
Pigeon, you're my
She's got
secretary
the
tonight.
cool
I need
little-
to do that.
She's got the cool little anime thumbnail where it looks like almost like a Serrano character, but I'm not sure if it's something she drew herself or another anime thing.
It's Ryuko from Kill la Kill, I think, or I don't know how to pronounce that name. But all right, here's her Twitter handle.
Yeah, Margaret Gell is responsible for harassment patrol. She's responsible for Gamergate.me. She's responsible for so many other things, and she's even shown how she herself has said that basically what people are claiming Gamergate are dead. I have more Twitter followers and activity than most companies, so there's that.
yes. Hello guys, I was sent here by King of Spaghetti Polls chat. Oh shit, so, I just feel bad now.
Oh, we're getting the pollers in here. That's great. Now the stream will go into full retard mode.
Oh, that's good.
Poor polars. Poor
Just
Oh, you use the word retard, and that offends people.
if
Oh
you,
no, I'm a shitlord. Damn it.
yeah, if anyone wants to know how big and old my dick is, it's 20 years old and 6 inches of pure disappointment, baby. So now we've got that open. Let's move on.
That's nice. Well, I mean, just to go back to the tone police, I mean, the stuff that we talk about, you know, to ourselves is actually pretty volatile, you know. I guess most of us aren't in the public sort of sphere apart from these streams, and we just talk our shit even on these streams.
I
Using
mean,
words.
yeah,
It
even
may-
Sargon Storeman here can't, he has to be careful, you know.
Well, no, I put my foot in my mouth tonight, if you want to call it by using that word, if I did use it on the stream, which I can't remember. But I mean, come on, we were sitting on the other chat and on Sunday, and they were we had bloody rape jokes going on and things like that. So you know, but nobody's paying attention to those kind of things in that kind of level. But when you really are speaking to 4,000, 5,000 people, you know, maybe you do have a responsibility to be
There's a
white and white,
certain
or maybe you
level of
don't.
responsibility that you need, isn't there? I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean that you should be like misportraying yourself or painting yourself into any kind of corner or whatever. But you just use common sense. If you're talking about the Holocaust, it's probably not the best move. All right, and fingering someone on stream is also probably not the best move. And I know this might blow somebody's mind, but you know, I thought that was fairly obvious. You know, like if you have that kind of reach, be careful with it. Like that's all we're asking. We're not saying censor yourselves, quote unquote. Just don't be silly with it. I think that's as much as we can ask for. Just don't be silly with it, guys. Okay? Okay.
But wait, in the context
Okay,
of
you
that
can
stream, was it a Gamergate stream or was it a lazy
No,
stream?
it was a lazy
It was a
stream.
stream,
However,
but
it was
treated out as a
also
Gamergate stream. So it's
Yeah.
like one guy says one thing and the other guy says another thing. People get confused, and then tone policing occurs. In
I don't
regards
know
to the
then,
whole
'cause-
what actually occurred on there, like okay, I think there's a difference between tone policing and criticism. Like, hey guys,
Yeah.
don't pork and stream at the same time, or don't drink and stream at the same time. Those are actions. That's not tone. That's just basically being, oh, look at me. I'm going to be a frat boy and party tonight. And yeah, that's legitimate criticism of those individuals. As for Poll's statements, you know what? I honestly did not hear those specific statements, but I've heard him talk about Holocaust shit before. It doesn't sound like he's a Holocaust denier, just saying that like certain criticisms of the accuracy of the Holocaust may need to be looked into again, which shouldn't be a controversial statement, but I see how it's a controversial statement.
what did you say?
I don't think chat wants us talking about that stream, so we need to just pick up a different topic.
Alright, yeah, let's do that. So, what's on the table? The Pac-Man interviews, or...
Well, John, do you want to talk about your operation, or is that still waiting to be finished?
I'd rather not talk about it right now. I can give you the heads up that yes, it's in progress. It's called Operation Rebuild. We will be posting and disseminating, spreading out the information. Thank you. We will be getting that information out there, and we will be starting a new letter writing campaign. So do stay tuned to that. But I don't feel like I can talk about it right now because I have to prepare myself to be talking with some people who are heavily involved with it, and I don't want to shoot this operation in the foot. So. And by the way, when I use the word operation, that's metaphor. It's not an actual military campaign. So it's an activist letter writing campaign, which will do. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. The chat is still talking about the fucking, the Holocaust thing, but okay, just to put this then in fucking context, okay, why are you discussing the numbers? Okay, and the context of how he's discussing the numbers, is that a problem that they, if they were exaggerated or if they were more or if it was statistically incorrect? What does it fucking matter?
It
Yeah.
was still millions too many. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah,
Let's just
exactly.
move on.
A few less millions doesn't make it a few less worse, atrocities. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, like anyone who says that if anyone's
Let's
gonna
move
come up with
on.
all right, fine, we'll move on.
Yeah, actually,
Holocaust is
Pigeon.
bad, that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah,
Pigeon,
yeah,
you actually have a couple people on Twitter that might want to come in and
yes.
post their opinions.
I'm waiting for someone to follow me. If you want to get a DM, follow me and I'll DM you. Okay? This is how this works.
Because this stream is we want to hear from you guys, because a lot of the streams are very closed. They're really restricted to the usual people that normally show up on the stream, and we really need to just start rotating people in, hearing what they have to say, and the people that don't have a chance to get on any of the streams.
Yeah,
So we're going to be
got-
rotating you in 15 minutes or so. So contact us if you want on.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
follow me at Ordinary Pigeon if you want on, and I'll just add you. I'll DM you the Hangout link. All right. That's
Yeah,
how
we're
this
trying to get less notable voices in here, so that way they can have their say and have their voice. Because part of being a leaderless movement means that it basically equalizes the playing field. No one in Gamergate is better than another person. Well, okay, I'm not going to go as far as say that, but no one is less worth listening to than another person. I mean, if what they're saying is shit, people call them out on their shit. But what I mean is,
Opinions matter. That's what you're getting.
yes,
John, what you're
opinions
saying
matter.
is shit. I'm calling you out on it.
What is it?
I'm saying what you're saying is shit, and I'm calling you out on it.
Oh,
just said
okay.
shit.
Well, what do you have to say about that? Elaborate.
No, I'm just saying it there. You're just talking a load of spaghetti. So you just said, if someone's saying shit, call them out on it. I just did. So there you go.
Well, I don't know how to respond to that. I guess what I just said was a load of shit. All right.
What?
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Basically, I'm just going to try and deconstruct all of your arguments with Inception bullshit.
Okay. This should be interesting.
Yeah.
Come on, if you want onto the stream, just send me a message. Just tweet at me saying, "Hey, Pigeon, get me on the stream, you cunt," or something of that nature, and I'll DM
And then
you.
he'll promptly ignore you because you called him a cunt.
No, I won't.
But imagine
So-
if we were actually in a stream of a stream of a stream. Imagine if someone was streaming us right now.
Sir, fuck off, please.
Okay.
So I've only got about 10 minutes left before I have to go. So I wanted to address something on a stream now.
Tara.
Oh my god, the Decepticons are here! The Decepticons are here!
Someone's a
Get down.
Cylon.
Yeah, your internet took a dump, Tara. So.
Yeah.
Oh, is that better now?
Yeah.
Okay. I've only got about 10 minutes left, so I wanted to bring up a point that I've been talking about with people privately. I haven't really talked about it publicly yet. So I'm going to answer a question that I've been getting a lot lately, and that is it appropriate to out Brianna Wu as a transsexual? The
Why?
answer
That
is
appropriate.
no.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's not appropriate. Now, what is appropriate is checking the person's credibility throughout a time they've had an online presence. Now, if a part of doing that means finding out what their former legal name is to figure out the behavior they've been engaged in to speak to their credibility, okay. But it's not a witch hunt. It's not like, some transphobic BS. It's just trying to understand the credibility of a person who has made themselves a public figure and is trying to directly benefit and profiteer off of a particular series of events that happened to them. It's like no one in Gamergate condones or supports the threats that was sent to her or any condition in which they were sent to her. So it's just a matter of semantics. It's just like you want to find out what a person was like before and after, whatever, but the outing of a trans person, that is completely irrelevant and not, it's not, yeah.
I mean, Yeah,
I totally agree. There's a difference between disseminating their past behavior and then just outing them as a trans person. One of them is fucking disgusting, and the other one is relevant. If you find anything about her past behavior, please do feel free to share that, but please do not use her last name. Just say Brianna Wu in so and so year, and people will kind of get the drift that you're doing it on. Don't bring the fact that she may or may not be a trans woman into this. It is just, it's outright.
Anybody that decides to try and profess themselves as whiter than white, on a public forum, trying to claim a moral high ground. That's why I'm not trying to claim a fucking moral high ground here. I'm morally repugnant, probably. And as gamers, I'm well aware that we use shit language, when we're talking to each other, and in public when we're talking to each other as well.
I disagree, you fucking faggot.
Yeah, well, there we go. You just said something that's, homophobic, you downsy retard. There you go. See, and I've just said something that could be misinterpreted as saying that I disrespect Down syndrome sufferers, as I did call Arthur Chu looking like that as well. So, what the fuck are we, trying to do here? We're not trying. A lot of us aren't trying to fight for a moral high ground here. A lot of us realise, and I think that's some introspection. And when we call out the enemy, I think that looks really retarded sometimes as well. So if you are going to call someone out on that shit, make sure your shit's whiter than their shit.
Alright, guys. We've got a lot of people asking to come on, so how do we want to do this? Do we want to invite one on at a time, two on at a time, and then I'll just tell the others, you'll be on in 15, you'll be in 30, or what do we want to do? Should we just invite all the cunts, or should we just invite a few at a time?
Pigeon, my stream, so I say one at a time.
Yeah.
I think two wouldn't be too bad, because there is a lot of people.
Give one person the floor at the time.
Okay.
We can make exceptions if the two people are really working on a project heavily together. I wouldn't mind inviting two at once. Just make sure that the conversation keeps flowing and everyone gets their voices heard. So best to keep it one at a time with some leeway for special exceptions.
Yeah, if they're making Two Girls One Cup, two Electric Boogaloo, then yeah, invite the duo on, because I have some questions for them.
And when we have these people on, we need to not talk over each other. Pretty much not make it overwhelming for them. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right. Because a big problem with these streams is that when there's too many people in the room and there's one person who disagrees with everybody, the whole stream goes to shit. So we're going to try to avoid that. Guests who come on will have their Twitter handles mentioned in the description. So I just updated the YouTube description, so you can refresh the page and you can see how it's been updated. Sour, I forgot to put you as one of the.
That's fine. Don't. That's okay. I don't need it.
No, it's too late. You're
Damn
in there.
it!
Yeah, then you'll be tweeting out Gwen Lily Knight and just saying, "Oh no, I'm gaining so many weight, gotta spam." Anyway.
Alright guys, I've invited one on. I'm going to be sending a tweet to someone else and I'm going to say please come on in about 7 or so minutes. So we can have some overlap, just not enough to make their points, let them get their points out and get a discussion going. Is that okay?
Well, Pigeon, what you can do, if you want to do, because they can come in and mute their microphones until that person has finished. That's sometimes works quite well if people are willing to abide by some, common courtesies.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. It depends on how many volume of guests we actually have in this stream. So.
Well, we have about 11 people wanting to get on at the moment. So.
Okay. Invite one person on after they've talked for about 5 minutes. Invite someone else on. And
and we'll start cycling and asking them to leave in an orderly fashion once about 15-ish minutes has been up.
Exactly. You'll make a great secretary, Ordinary Pigeon, and a very cute one at that.
Well, thank you. But,
Jesus, get a room, you homo. Seriously.
I know. I
think wet over here.
I'd think of your boy, Pussy John. Anyway, let's get. We've got someone should be coming in soon.
And if you can be prompt with the response as well, if you want to come on, at least have the window open and ready to go, because that's also.
It is a pain in the dick. It's a pain in the dick. Alright, I've sent 2 people an invite because the first person doesn't seem to be here just yet. Liam, you're getting your 15 minutes of irrelevant fame. Alright.
Irrelevant? You're speaking to 47 other irrelevant people. How's that
We're
not
all
fair?
irrelevant here.
No, thanks.
By the way, to clarify my earlier comment, no homo.
All the homo.
You are so anti-gay, John. It's I don't know why you're hosting a stream.
I am an oppressive shitlord.
Oh motherfucker! This entire bullshit message can't be said. Fuck you.
Okay, looks like we have Liam on.
Hiya. How are you all?
Hello.
Hello.
Doing pretty well, and yourself?
Yeah, good. Thanks, you guys. I mean, that interview was pretty hilarious to say the least. I mean, we are now all anonymous bots, according to Arthur, which is news to me. But you know,
I learn all sorts throughout this movement. It's great.
yeah. I mean, I don't even know. The thing is, just coming into this stream by chance with Margaret passing on details. I mean, I don't know anybody in here, so.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
You've got Robin's Fluffer, you've got Sargon's Doorman. We're all pretty irrelevant. It's fine.
Oh, I know you, Liam. You were on the first stream.
I was on Sargon's
Sargon.
stream, yeah, the
You were,
talk
yeah.
stream, yeah.
He's the one
Yeah.
who vetted you, so you should feel fucking thankful.
Oh no, I'm apparently a nobody still. I'll remember that.
Ah, no, I don't mean that. You know I don't. But yeah, I mean, same old. Just people not listening to what we're actually supposed to be talking about, and continuing to mention that. I mean, Zoe Quinn has earned over $1,000 more as a result of Gamergate on her Patreon. So you know, good times for her financially, I suppose. But
I wish I got $3,000 a month for doing nothing.
I know, right? I mean, what?
He's really nice. And nobody has even bought me fucking Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. What's wrong with you guys? Seriously.
So you're going to take the Phil Fish approach to games development.
Me, I'm not even developing games. I just.
Oh, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to be a developer in order to be a developer.
Okay, so
But sorry, Liam. Can you please? We didn't really get enough of a chance to listen to the David Packman Arthur Chu interview. Could you please give us a recap?
Right. Okay. So Arthur digs a hole, continues digging a hole, and I believe he has now dug through the entirety of the Earth and is now in the atmosphere, burning up. I mean, it was embarrassing, really. I mean, he's continuing to spout this, you know, the harassment angle, which hasn't worked for the past 3 months, and is rapidly degrading in, you know, can't think of the word, the notability and reputability of the claims that are being made, because it's just not working. There needs to be a focus on ethics. That's
You should have fucking muted yourself for that. Jesus Christ.
I'm in bed.
Stop tone policing.
Sorry, Liam. Continue.
That's all right. No worries. I mean, they need to move the focus on to actually talking about ethics and gaming. You've got the biggest thing is IGN. I don't think people realise how big IGN is in terms of this is literally
now.
This is literally the most demonised website, most demonised gaming website possibly. I mean, last decade. I mean, I certainly have despised them. I don't go to IGN for anything. I mean, I don't know everybody's opinion, but I'm really, I despise Mass Effect 3 and Dragon Age 2, and I think those are 2 examples of games where, especially Mass Effect 3, IGN, I looked at their review of that and I thought, this is just paid for, this is advertising, it's not a review, it's not a critique of the game, it is basically them just saying, buy this game because EA have given us a friggin' handoff. And the fact that IGN have come out and said, you know, we're going to bring in this ethics policy, and even the editorial they didn't refer to Gamergate directly, but obviously we know the editorial was about it. They showed respect to you know, the individuals against who harassment claims are being made, and I don't think they're baseless. I just think you've got individuals like Brianna, like Zoe, like Anita, who are publicising these threats in order to Patreon money, donations, and the thing is, this harassment angle, which has been going on and on, IGN seem to respect that that is not the case, and that the consumer wants something more in terms of you know, ethics in their gaming journalism. And the Arthur interview, he doesn't seem to understand that when you come out with this sort of stuff publicly, there is going to be scrutiny, especially on Twitter. And a lot of people have critiqued Twitter for, you know, being an open platform. Like Total Biscuit said he'd rather just get rid of Twitter completely. But you know, individuals like Zoe and Brianna and Anita coming out and putting this stuff on there, there is going to be critique. It is not listen and believe. And when they are pulled up by someone like David on it, and David is clearly quite a progressive individual, he is not the right-wing straw man that the anti-Gamergate side have tried to create in order to make us look bad. He is clearly quite a progressive individual, and when you see the attitude that Arthur had towards him, that pretty much says all you need to know about the other side of this argument. They will not listen to any sort of reason. They just want to make us look bad, and eventually that is why they're going to lose. And I know the King of Pole evidence earlier today is a bit sketchy. Yeah. Oh, King of Pole? I think that's the...
I thought this was the King of Kirk. That must be sounding.
I heard King of Coal. So is that
King of Coal? I did say, yeah, I did say King of King of Cola. King of Two Girls, One Cup.
So, one thing I want to ask everybody that comes on here, and I think it's a very important question, is, Liam, let's look back at Gamergate, the people that actually support Gamergate. Let's look back at us, and I want to know from you, what do you think we should do that would be better for Gamergate? What kind of direction do you think we should take to make ourselves efficient or to make ourselves more focused? Things along that nature.
Well, in terms of the movement itself, I don't really. I mean, the thing is, there are all these suggestions flying around about having some sort of leadership, and you've got this whole gamer thing, which the idiot at Bioware, Damien Schubert, decided to come out with, and that was just completely wrong. It's such a ridiculous notion that we should need a consumer movement. This is a consumer movement. It is the consumer revolt. I personally, I'm not going to shill my site out, but you guys can see it.
You can, mate.
It's Power Gamer. I think you guys might have heard of it. We did the hatred petition. Basically, the guy who created the hatred petition, we queried him and the developer on it, and he basically won the Backpedal Awards for possibly the year, if not this month. And he kind of retracted. He said, I was not implying that the game itself was sexist, racist. I was implying that the trailer was. Now, that is almost certainly not what he put in the petition itself, and it's a bit of a, it's complete retraction from what he said originally. So that just kind of shows the character of the type of person we're dealing with.
Wasn't he an indie dev though? Wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. There was a lot of people saying about how it was illegal what he was doing anyway, and I'm based in the UK, so I'm not familiar with all this US antitrust law. But yeah, I mean, essentially what he was doing in terms of we're gonna blacklist you. Not necessarily blacklisting, but we're gonna send this over to you, and you should stop doing what you're doing. And people have called him out on it because it's total bullshit. And people want to see a game like that made because it frustrates these people so much that it's appropriate for something like that to be made, because it is if we're going to count all video games as works of art. We can't just go around censoring these pieces, especially other developers, because that is just it is morally bankrupt. That is all it is.
Well, can I give a counter to that? Specifically with art games as art, they say specifically that if we're going to treat games as art, then any critique of that should not be censored as well.
No.
So your Anita Sarkeesians and your Brianna Wu's and all of, if they ever do a critique on video games as art, it should also be valid.
Let's make one thing very clear. I have no problem with Anita Sarkeesian coming out and voicing her views.
Whoa.
The problem I have is Anita Sarkeesian not being challenged by mainstream sites.
Yes.
And Anita Sarkeesian is just as entitled to free speech, is entitled to her YouTube videos and doing whatever she likes. Whatever you can say about her character, I personally believe she is quite a duplicitous individual who has, duped a load of people out of money. And remember, the Kickstarter rewards still haven't been completely done. She still hasn't rewarded all those individuals. And I don't have a problem with Anita making her videos. I have a problem with sites like Rock Paper Shotgun, sites like Kotaku, sites like Polygon, accept her narrative without challenging her at all. And it's not on. These people have got to look at both sides of the argument. I'm not saying let's just slander Anita, because clearly she raises some good points.
Okay.
I personally believe that Anita is making the leap from damsel in distress is a bad story element, just for an example, and leaping to, it's sexist. This is a complete sexist element which needs to be cut out and removed. I believe it should be up to the artist to decide what they want to put in their game. If people construe it as sexist, they're entitled to make a criticism about it, but they shouldn't be obliged to comply with what these critics are saying about the game, or like Super Mario Brothers or whatever. In terms of lost my train of thought a bit here, but in terms of the critique of, say, games in which reviewers have had some form of financial investment, I mean, let's consider Kuchera is still a Patreon supporter of Zoe Quinn. I'm not saying Ben has got plans to review anything of Zoe's. I just don't think there is any reason for journalists to be actively backing or supporting these developers financially in any way. So,
and I think we can all agree with that. But we also have, I think the next guest we have is Charming. Yeah, it's Charming Man 93. It was nice hearing from you, Liam, but we've got a lot of other people coming up, and we'd like to hear you again sometime. We might be doing this stream more often.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, it's difficult for me to do streams because just being in the UK, most of the US-based streams are quite early in the day for me, and I don't get back to work from work till late. So feel free to shoot me over a message, guys, or anything if you want to have a bit more of a chat. Okay, all right, great.
Yeah, it's lovely having you on.
Cheers, thanks.
Alright, who do we have on now?
We have Charming and Quintus, but I believe Charming was here first.
Sorry I didn't get a lot of chance to talk to you, Charming. It was great listening to you and having you on. Thanks for showing up.
He's already fucking left. Jesus Christ, John.
Oh, dang it. Well, I'm sure he's listening, so shout out to him. Pigeon, did you type his Twitter handle in the call?
I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I'm trying to do all this at fucking once. For the people who do make it, can you please just put your Twitter handle inside? I'm trying to queue up people.
Yeah, it's not easy, is it, Pigeon? You fucking pig.
I know, it must be worse than Sargon Storm, man.
So, do I talk now?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, sure, man.
Tell us who you are and everything.
Yeah. I'm trying to be really quiet here. I live at home, you see, with my mum. She's going to sleep.
That's alright.
I'm Charming Man 93 or Charmless Man 93 on Twitter, and I've been busy trying to find my microphone for this, so I've not been listening properly. I've got it now, obviously. And have we talked about the block list yet?
No, you may definitely bring out.
I'm loving it. I'm number 2003. I am
2,300.
98.
2,300.
Are the Nazis coming for you?
Are you hiding onto the floorboards at the moment, Chris? No.
No, he's in with Anne Frank, I think.
Okay, I think I know of the block list he was talking about, and it actually just came up today.
It got updated today. I know we were talking about this briefly on the Review Lab stream, and I hadn't actually made it on there, so I made sure to send the creator of it a tweet saying, "Fuck my boy pussy, no one cares." So hopefully I should be making it onto that list quite soon.
I'm gonna check. I haven't been on that thing since the fucking start. I'm really
Best
disappointed.
part of the block list is free publicity.
Yes, but please continue, Charming. Yeah.
I think it shows they're scared of us, to be honest. That's all I need to say now.
They're after you, Charming. They're coming for you, Barbara.
What film is that? Is that Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead, yeah.
Charming, are you able to say much more, or are you pressed for time?
Pressed for time.
Okay. I mean, we can have you on another stream when you're not that pressed for time.
Alright. Thank you.
You're
Alright,
welcome.
thanks for
You
coming
come
on,
back
man.
anytime.
Yeah, we'll bring you on next time.
Sweet. Alright. Quintus?
Hello?
Quintus Kane.
Hello,
Hello.
Quintus Kane. Who are
Can
you
you
on
hear me?
Twitter? Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. I am Quintus Kane on Twitter. Yeah, I joined, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. I am from America, or as we like to say, Murica. And I personally don't have any kind of vested interest in the video game industry other than I like to play video games. I have an extensive background in mass communications and mass media, and I'm notoriously non-political in my circle of friends. So when this kind of blew up all over, MSNBC and things like that, when I was watching, I didn't understand what I was watching at first because it made no sense. I didn't understand why they were interviewing a guy from Recode and this lady named Brianna Wu who was talking about being harassed online. I thought that was really kind of weird because people get harassed online all the time and nothing ever happens. It's just people talking crap online. So actually doing a bit of digging, it becomes really apparent that this is not about misogyny or misogynies. It's literally about people colluding with each other to get their friends' games published and basically have a giant circle jerk and pat each other on the back and, hey, you're doing a great job. I mean, Zoe Quinn's Depression Quest, okay, yeah, big deal. It's not a game. It's a choose-your-own adventure, okay? Second of all, just because she's the blue touch paper that struck off Gamergate doesn't mean that she's the focal point of Gamergate. So when you're watching Pac-Man's interview with Arthur Chu, this guy is going apoplectic about you were harassing Zoe Quinn by putting a dot in front of her name so everybody could follow the conversation. Like, nigga, shut up. Nobody cares. Like, that wasn't the point. That means that every time somebody wants to be contacted for an interview, does that necessarily mean they're being harassed? I guess she was being harassed when she went on the BBC. I guess she was being harassed when she went on Ronan Farrow's show. I guess she was being harassed when she's interviewed by all these other fucksticks on the internet. I mean, my goodness, when does it end? I mean, it's the serial retardation that I don't get. And I'm sorry if somebody got triggered by the R word, okay? I was born in the early 80s. Retard is still a thing from where I'm at. So this whole thing about people's feelings being triggered and blah, blah, Gamergate is about collusion in journalism and not being a retard, okay? Sorry, that's just how I feel.
That's definitely, I think, a popular opinion here.
I don't mean to take over the accused in my Twitter handle of being a sock puppet. Okay, like, oh, Did you know that this person created a Twitter account 2 weeks ago? Does that mean I'm a sock puppet just because I made an account 2 weeks ago? Like, I don't understand that ideology.
What you're experiencing is someone projecting their feelings and calling it fact.
I mean, to be honest,
Okay.
I made my Twitter account specifically for Gamergate as well because I didn't have any need for
Same here.
Twitter.
Okay, I'll be honest with you right now. I just made a Google Hangouts account just now so I could talk to you guys because I am not on social media whatsoever. So that's y'all probably never talk to anybody again after this on Google. But I felt the need to after I saw that tweet, like, hey, come and talk to us, because what I think gets lost in the giant anonymity of, you know, places like 8chan and things like that. You got people calling each other shills and whatnot. What I think gets lost is the actual person, I would like to include myself in that, who actually has a legitimate gripe with these people who want to say that there are no LGBTQs or you know, minorities in the group. I'm a biracial bisexual man, okay? I play
You're a
video
handsome one
games
like that.
and... Sorry?
You're a handsome one like that if that isn't a just stock image.
Oh, that is not me, but I did do that on purpose.
Well, no, I'm just disappointed. You can fuck off now.
Oh, that's all right. I'm actually a white, fat, and misogynist neckbeard, so I apologize. But people come onto this sort of, how do I say, this ideology where everybody's, you can't say what I don't want you to say because it hurts my feelings, makes no sense. The world is a hurtful place, okay? You deal with stuff all the time, day and night, and for them to co-opt video games and then kick out the gamers that they were shitting on for years and saying all of a sudden that people in Gamergate are reacting to a sea change is bullshit. They're not reacting to a sea change. They're reacting to outsiders trying to put their ethics on other people, ironically, because they don't want to stop drinking the Kool-Aid that is isolationism, that cultural Marxism. I mean, it's really kind of phenomenal when you think about it, because, like, I'll go back to the Pacman interview. The guy spent 15 minutes talking about Zoe Quinn and rape accusations on Twitter. And Pacman's like, why do you keep bringing it up? Well, the reason he keeps bringing it up is because he has no facts. He has nothing to deal with. He can't face the truth. So what you do is you move the goalposts and you make stuff up. You like drama because feelings matter more than facts, evidently to these people. I just want my video games to be fun. I don't care if there's a female or a male protagonist. I don't care. I don't care what. It's got to be fun. I don't want to read a book, okay? That's why I play video games. And the other thing is you can objectify video game objects because guess what? When you're programming a game, they're called objects. How can I not objectify an object?
I like that take. So okay. Where am I going with this? You haven't been following Gamergate for that long. But this is a question that I'm going to ask everybody that comes on here. What do you think? What do you think Gamergate should do to be more efficient or more focused, or should we try to make more bridges with devs to make them feel better about us? What do you think we should do?
As a movement, I really, first of all, I think what they have been doing is fantastic. Because if you ever on GG, even though GG's been infested by Nick Denton's cohorts, I think the fact that we've raised money for charity, that we've actually let people understand who we are and what we're about and that we're leaderless is all we can do. Because as soon as we start putting a leader or a face on it, that person gets attacked and discredited and people move on. If they can't attack an identity, then they can't attack the whole of us. So I really think that if they just keep emailing, eventually the bottom's going to fall out. And eventually we'll get that the reviews that aren't tarnished with people trying to get stuff published. I mean, of course there's corruption in every level of government, but to deny that it exists is something wholly different than trying to stop it. And I think that's what people really reacted to, is that the whole there's nothing to see, there's no man behind the curtain in Gamergate. Now, ironically, I've been with Gamergate since the beginning, since the Zoa post, but I didn't create a Twitter handle until 2 weeks ago because I just couldn't take the nonstop, ridiculous narrative. I couldn't understand why this was getting mainstream media coverage, and it didn't make any sense. So I felt like I had to step in and help somehow. What else could I do but send emails and shit post all over 8chan? So, yes, I am a shill. I'm shilling for Hot Wheels.
Yeah,
You'll probably see some of my WebMs or whatever. I make a bunch of dumb stuff and I post it. So if you see somebody posting the same video over and over, it's probably me. So.
Well, that's always useful. So thank you for that. It's always funny.
No problem.
Are you the person who has the shots fired YouTube thing on their pinned on their Twitter, or is that someone else?
But that's someone else. I would like to take credit for that, but that is someone else. But there's one I did with Brianna Wu on David Pacman, and then all of a sudden there was some fat kid dancing to the Black Ops 2 music, and then it turned into a Breaking Bad intro. I did that one. So,
okay.
Just because I just want to mess around on stuff. I don't know. I don't know why Brianna Wu would think about a fat kid breakdancing to Black Ops 2 music. I don't know. But it's what I did, so.
Maybe it's all she ever thinks about. Maybe that's the problem. Who knows?
Well,
but I appreciate you guys giving me an outlet here. So.
Sure, mate. Come back anytime.
All right.
Great having you
guys
on.
have a good one. Thanks.
You too.
You too, man.
Right.
Pigeon, I've been trying to tell you where are the Twitter handles have been asking for.
I said if you get into the chat, please post your Twitter handle in the side, okay?
But
I'm trying to
told you it wasn't easy.
Hey, there's like 10 people trying to get on now, alright?
So you just pushed over the responsibility. Is that what you're
Yeah,
doing?
exactly. That's what I'm doing.
You're a great secretary.
Oh, here we go. The massive step for Pigeon. Ah.
I'm trying to see if Whiskey Grenade will promote us, and if he does, that'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
Who was that?
Yes, Synth. Yeah, that was me. Synth, yeah, you can unmute.
Introduce yourself, Synth.
Yeah, my name's Synthivine. You can follow me on Twitter at Synthivine, and I'm just kind of another member of Gamergate. I, kind of talk to a lot of people. I'm actually pretty quiet when it comes to Twitter. I do a lot of retweeting, and I guess I react to things a little bit and stuff, but other than that, I stay pretty quiet on Twitter, but it's mostly like I try to, just poke my head around and see what people are talking about and stuff, and I try to just talk to people coming from all these different aspects of Gamergate, because there's lots of tiny little pools of people, that are all doing their own thing and stuff like that, and I just try to, talk to people and see what's going on and stuff like that, and, just be generally curious about things. That's just the nature of me. I'm a very inquisitive person, but, I guess, like, if there's anything specific I'd want to talk about would be, I guess maybe that stuff that came out about Nick Denton earlier today and people's reactions to it and stuff like that, and then maybe just, you were talking about, I think, the first guest, Liam, that you had on, you're talking about the, cultural criticism of games as art and things like that I'd like to toss my 2 cents in, and how I think Gamergate is kind of approaching, in general, maybe approaching that aspect of the conversation in the wrong way. And just my opinion on games reviews and stuff like that, where I actually see, the source of the problem and what I think we should be working towards and stuff like that. And it's not really something that's talked about too often. But I don't know. But as far as the Nick Denton stuff is concerned, like, I think it's interesting to come out, and I know that people are in the process of verifying it and everything like that, and the source and everything. They're supposedly giving information to Milo to try and validate all this and everything like that. And the only, I guess, question or concern that I would have is, like, it feels like it's way too convenient for it to be coming out when it does, and it honestly feels a little bit, to me anyway, like he might be trying to claim responsibility for something that he had no part in simply because of the paranoia that could be raised, because if you make a statement like that, it gets leaked out and then it gets publicized, as it has already been on Twitter. That's just simply going to raise everybody's level of paranoia about who is an actual shill and who's not a shill or whatever like that, and can cause that infighting. We've already seen a little bit of that the past couple of days, and I think it's just way too convenient for it to be coming out to not just rile people up and start, we're try to get us going at each other's throats and stuff like that. That's like my concern, is like
I agree. It does kind of, I said this earlier, it does kind of feel like it's a Bond villain telling you his master plan just before, you escape and thwart everything. It doesn't make any sense. If you were actually doing something like this, you just keep quiet, surely.
Yeah, but don't you think it's interesting that most people's reactions to it have been quite similar to ours, apart from H, which has had a couple of threads.
I think it's like 50-50 at this point, based on what I've seen.
Which is better than,
yeah, it's better than just buying into it wholesale.
Yeah, 70 at one stage, 70%, and then 80, 90, people would take this as gospel. At least we're getting to a point where 50% of us are like, hang on a second.
Because even then, like, I've seen some stuff going around that it's not a very popular opinion, but as far as people kind of insinuating that it's fake and that they're trying to use it as just a way to, pro Gamergate is just using it as a way to, as a construct to try and get people to refocus on stuff because of the infighting that's been happening over the weekend. And it's like that one, they would never try to push this to Milo if they fabricated it, because that's just absurd. He can't go on publishing stuff that's, if it's a fabrication, that would ruin his career. And second, that works against what that thing would actually be doing, because all that, again, like I said, all it's going to do is raise the level of paranoia within Gamergate, and people being mad suspicious, even more so than they already are, about people who they're painting as shills and stuff. And that ties into the whole, bullshit tone policing argument that's going on and everything. It's like, oh, you're a shill, you're a shill. If anybody disagrees, you're a fucking shill. And it's like, you fucking people are going crazy. I don't know.
It really is. Like, I posted on 8chan quite a few times and been called a shill myself. There was, for example, there was a thing that a few of us came up with. It was actually Old School Video came up with the idea in one of Robin's open house streams, which was essentially, let's get why don't we do a Alexander charity drive for her birthday, which will not be giving her money, but it will be donating money towards Child's Play in her name. Yeah, and basically it went over really badly. Let's put it like that. On 8chan, everyone was like, I saw conspiracy theories like, what if it's Leigh Alexander who's actually set up the charity drive and she's just going to pocket all the money?
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I was like, oh fucking hell, seriously. Did you not read anything? And I posted saying essentially that, and everyone was just like, shill. So, it is just kind of it is that seems to be kind of a climate of where things are at the moment. When you kind of create this, we kind of feel very marginalized, so you kind of make the perfect climate for radicalization of anybody in any movement. So it's very, people get incredibly emotional very easily.
And that's the thing. I think that's actually like part of the reason why, we're seeing people start to latch onto these like sort of absurd ideas, or even just tender these absurd ideas like what you were talking about. And then there's people, and I understand that it's a joke, but then there's something going around about the Gamergate orgy with that porn star that came out in support of us and stuff. And like people are like, oh, we should make a fundraiser, or like do a nude calendar and stuff.
God.
And it's like, are you fucking serious? It's just that early on within the movement, when we, a month and a half ago, there was stuff constantly happening. There was information constantly being unearthed, and it was giving people something to look forward to. And then as time goes on, that information starts to become less and less prominent, and those big events that happen that people, that's when the hashtag really spikes up in its usage, they become less and less common, and people start to get frustrated and antsy, and they want something to happen, so they catch even the slightest whiff of something, and it's like, holy shit, this is the biggest thing that's ever happened to us, you know. And especially when it's, if you look at the Nick Denton stuff, it's like, oh well, you know, that validates a lot of the concerns that we were having, and our speculation on there being shills and within the movement and people being paid, because a couple weeks ago, or like last week or 2 weeks ago, there's a thing, Oliver Campbell came out and said that he had proof that people were being paid to, you know, cause infighting and stuff like that. And you've never, you know, I never saw anything more of that. And it's like, what the hell were you talking about, Oliver?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's kind of like there's no follow up to a lot of this stuff. You know, it's just radicalized claims and stuff. And I think that, you know, people are just getting tired and frustrated because it's not just that ongoing wave of information that we were used to that happened, you know, really early on, when it was just constantly things happening.
I mean, why can't we just focus on what we already have? The Gamer Pro Journal emails. I mean, for me, that's good enough. And Totillo, what he said Nathan Grayson told him, like, if for me, that's good enough. I don't know about anybody else.
Good enough as far as what?
As far as the integrity and ethics issue.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that if you look at the emails, they don't, like, they could treat me like shit. I expect them to treat me like shit. I'm just a gamer. I have no influence over them. But when you look at those emails, the way they treat each other, I mean, it's awful.
No, I mean, I agree as far as, like, when you're talking about the ethics stuff and everything, and the I guess this could kind of segue into the next point that I'll try to make it quick, and that also ties into the question about what you think, you know, you guys are asking everybody about Gamergate. But as far as, like, the ethics thing is concerned, like, I honestly feel like that's been addressed, but it's staying as the sticking point and a talking point because we're in such a defensive place right now. And of all these accusations of misogyny and trying to chase women out of the industry and stuff, and it's like, no, it's about ethics.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you look at what they did, you know, granted, you could take it to heart or completely blow it off, especially regarding Totillo because of his pretty much half-assed apologies anytime this, you know, he's had a chance to talk about this. He only goes halfway. So you can say, all right, but I mean, at the end of the day, as long as these people aren't doing anything illegal, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them conducting their business the way that they are. If, you know, people want to view that content, that's why it's called clickbait, then they're free to. Otherwise, you have to vote with your wallet, start going to these other whitelisted, you know, games websites, and if you prefer their content or YouTube channels or following people on Twitter, then do that. But they have no obligation to change the content of their reviews and everything like that. And I mean, if anybody wants to, you know, comment on that before I go on about tying this into Gamergate and its direction and stuff, then I guess now would be the time. No? All right. That's all right. That's fine. I know that you were kind of saying, yeah, but I didn't know if you wanted a point to make. But anyway, when it comes to that, and this is where I disagree with a lot of people within Gamergate, but I kind of get shit. I don't really get shit on for it. You know, I explain myself and people kind of understand. But I'm like 100% pro free speech. I don't believe that anybody has a right to infringe on somebody's personal agency. And when it comes to these reviews, and people say, well, they're inserting politics into it, and that can lower the score, which can affect the Metacritic score, which can affect developer bonuses or developer publisher, you know, bonuses and stuff like that. It's like, you're absolutely right. But the problem isn't with the reviews. The entire thing with the review and people calling for objective reviews is that that's completely absurd. There's no such thing as an objective review. It's absurd to even try and ask for that. Yes, you can strive to achieve objectivity and leave your opinions out, but you are not obligated to do so. You cannot, and people bring up the Christ-centered gamer thing. They're like, well, how about if they have a game value score and then a morality score, and they only take the game value score and use that for Metacritic? It's like, okay, do you think that these people aren't sleazy enough to just arbitrarily lower the game score to, you know, assert their opinion and have it affect Metacritic in that way? They'll do the exact same thing. You can't use an average either. You know, it's like, the problem isn't the reviews and the content in the reviews, it's the way that it affects the developers and publishers. And that's what I feel like Gamergate needs to kind of focus on more. And it's a difficult topic to approach because I don't think that we can have any real effect on that unless there's some semblance of organization. And I know that that's kind of a dirty thought within the thing, at least not in public. But I think that that's really something look at. I mean, yes, of course, everybody wants to bring down Gawker and fucking watch it burn. You see that talked about all the time. But the real problem here is the way that the review scores affect Metacritic and the way Metacritic affects the developers. It's not the reviews themselves. And that's why people, I just say that's why people have issue with the ideological views going into the reviews because of what it affects at the end.
So I ask everybody the same question. What do you think Gamergate should do to be efficient? What do you think they should focus on? Stuff like that. And you think Metacritic is one of the things that should be focused on?
I think what we should do is, instead of outright dismissing conversation about some form of organization, it at least needs to be talked about, and it needs to be criticized, it needs to be scrutinized, because the problems that people have with it are very real and very legitimate. I understand, and even when I talk about this myself, I acknowledge those faults. The biggest strength of Gamergate is being an anonymous blog, but that's also its biggest fault. It's hard to have any real impact. It's like, yes, sure, we're getting advertisers to pull out and stuff, but if the hashtag kind of dwindles over time, there's nothing preventing those advertisers from just going back when people aren't paying attention. So that's like my only thing when, it's like we are having an impact, but how long is that going to last? How big of an impact is that going to have long term? And again, when you get into that touchy subject of organization and everything, because I feel like what we could do is, if we can come to some peaceful resolution regarding the writing side of it and the reviews in these publications, and now we also have this consumer awareness side of it going on about the ideologies that these people have and what organizations they're affiliated with, which kind of drive these agendas. We have that going for us. We've kind of done a really good job with that, but I feel like if we establish to the developers and even other media outlets that we're willing to organize and create a space where they can come out and say, we supported you guys, but it was a very hostile environment, so we couldn't do anything. Same thing with the developers, and I've heard things about other media outlets wanting to do that, but they simply can't do it because of the chaotic atmosphere that Gamergate is. And I think that we could create a line of dialogue with these developers and try to create something that is more palatable to us as gamers, where the reviewers are kind of taken out of the picture a little bit more, and then those ideologies forced into their reviews are completely irrelevant. They can write about whatever they want. You're not infringing on freedom of speech. You're not trying to force them to oblige in a certain scoring system so that it fits with your viewpoints. I don't believe that trying to affect people's writing is the right way to go about this. I think we have to be concerned with how the writing is affecting the developers, and that's what we kind of need to, if we can rectify that, then everything else attached to it is rectified, by proxy. So that's kind of what I see.
Agree. I can see where you're coming from, and I do agree with that. The whole sense that some of the power that the reviews may have on developers should be decreased so that it's not as much of a problem for developers, in a sense.
Yeah. And it's just hard for them to come out just because of the, like I said, the chaos within the hashtag. And it's like, whenever there's not the big news, like everything, it gets back to the infighting and creating rifts and shit like that. And it's like, would you want to come out and put your neck on the line as supporting GG when you see that shit happening? Absolutely fucking not.
Yeah, creating bridges with developers is definitely something that I think Gamergate needs to do, because I think if you win over the developers, that this entire issue just, it's done. You've got the industry for the most part.
Yeah, so that's my little rant. And that kind of, I just to tie it up real quick, I guess that applies to the whole, looking at games as art and cultural critique and stuff like that, because I believe those things are perfectly acceptable. I have no problem with people putting their ideologies in reviews. It's just, I think that's fine, but you should be able to criticize them as well backwards. That's talking about Anita Sarkeesian, tropes versus women. You should be able to criticize her, and point out inaccuracies in her research and taking things out of context and that stuff like that. We should all be open to criticism.
Right.
But I just think that, I don't know, it's a weird topic to discuss the organization and trying to establish this line with developers, because I know a lot of people are very apprehensive, and I understand why. So.
Well, I think that's all the time we have.
Yeah, that's fine.
For you, because we also have Drew in here, but it was great to have you on.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I, enjoyed talking about this stuff, and it was, a pleasure coming on. So,
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll
Synth,
definitely do it again. We'll definitely bring you on again.
all
Yeah,
right,
it was great
just let me
talking
know.
to
Very
you,
much.
Synth.
You were very
Synthivine, before you go, are you available on Skype at some point soon?
Yeah, if you guys want, actually, full disclaimer, I should have said this at the beginning. I know Curbs, but I got on through the regular method, PMing Pigeon, just so you guys don't think I tried to jump the queue or anything like that. But if any of you guys want to get at me on Skype or something, I'll post my Twitter handle also in the chat, but I gave it to you guys too. But you can just ask Curbs for my details, and they'll give it
Yeah,
to you.
and also full disclosure, I also know Synth and I have him on Skype, and I may need to
Oh, let's-
contact you.
Also,
Uh,
full disclosure. If you want to jump the queue, buy me Advanced Warfare on Steam.
Oh, fuck off, Pigeon.
Hey, are you offering bribes?
But anyway, I'll get going so the other guy can start.
Yeah,
Thanks
Synth,
for having me.
For coming on, man.
I'll speak to you in a bit, mate.
Yeah, no problem. Take it easy, guys.
Have a good night. Pigeon, we're going to have a corruption in game streaming next.
I did tweet something saying like you could get what you give me your like goddamn Advanced Warfare hashtag Gamergate hashtag it's about ethics hashtag feminism.
You are literally
So we have
the worst individual in the world to have as a representative. Just want to put that out there. You make Jade Fox look competent. Seriously.
I'll go fuck yourself. All right, that's too far.
All right, so Drew's been waiting for a while. So Drew, if you have anything to say or introduce yourself, that'd be great right now.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yep, we can hear you.
Yep.
All right, good. I'm Drew. Please don't call me Drew. I am PK Fireball. But please call me Drew, you guys.
Okay, PK Fire.
The people I'm talking to, anyone in chat, I'm PK Fireball literally everywhere, but you guys can just call me Drew, because it's
Okay.
one syllable. Hi. Yeah, if you hear people, there are people here, so I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine, mate.
Yeah, so I wasn't really sure what I would talk about, because, I can talk about anything Gamergate related. I've been here since, when I kind of entered the arena, it was all the way back in August when it was Phil Fish and Polytron's website got knocked off. So,
yeah, that was definitely way back.
Yeah, I've been here since that. I've kind of I've taken week-long breaks. I spent the whole weekend playing Civ, so I have no idea what happened over the weekend, but I've kind of caught up. I watched a few minutes of the interview that David Pakman did with, what's his name?
Alpha True.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Was funny, wasn't it?
Because I skipped around in it, and he kept talking about how, essentially his arguments were certain questions are harassment. To which I say, what?
Well, that what question, that's also harassment. So
You're harassing me right now.
Oh gosh, I'm
and
so
everything
sorry.
that I stand for,
I'm
which
triggered.
is my vagina. Okay.
Oh gosh. Yeah, another thing, I've kind of been on Kotaku in action ever since about January of the beginning of the year. So all the social justice crazy stuff is not new to me. I just never thought they would touch my beautiful games.
I know those shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely an aspect that most people like to talk about because it's so easy to make fun of them. But then you have Sargon going full tinfoil.
Wait, Drew, can I ask you? Why do you think they actually touched your beautiful games?
I don't. I think just because it's not big enough to be mainstream media, like television or mainstream political
But it's
news.
$1 billion industry.
Yes, I know, but everyone who does it is nerds and misogynists.
Misogynerds.
Misogynerds. Yeah, I don't know. Also, it's I feel like this has kind of caused most of the kind of internet to fall apart because it's like people who I respected for a long time kind of they drank the Kool-Aid, and now they're kind of loony.
It
Wait, are you
depends on who
saying
you're
they're
talking
black?
about. Like
Yeah,
Joss
again,
Whedon?
It's completely yes, Joss Whedon, and also to go smaller. I saw today.
Don't be afraid of Joss Whedon. He actually doesn't mean it. He's just trying to deflect a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
know. Like I'm still gonna go watch any movie he makes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's true for a lot of stuff. It's like there are certain people where, I'll still go see things they do just because they've done this doesn't completely discredit everything they've ever made.
That is
Like,
true.
You have to separate the person from the art.
Well, to clarify
which I kind of pride myself on doing. Like for an example, it's John Siracusa, who of Accidental Tech Podcast fame, also other stuff, was talking. He was talking on Twitter today about how, like, the woman walking for 10 hours in New York, how that is harassment. Which is kind of sad because, one, I like him, and two, that is... He said essentially that people saying the good mornings were actually harassment.
Well,
So
never meet
good
your
morning.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't know I'd
Harassment
been harassed multiple times on my morning walks.
It is harassment. Because
Okay.
that good morning is
Sorry,
just the
sorry.
patriarchy trying to force you to have a good day.
Oh, god damn it, Sour.
Sour, you're full of
Who
satire.
let the
Oh my gosh.
SJW in?
I'm
Seriously.
being controlled. I understand this. I'm controlling women. I'm so sorry. I am a white cis male. I am literally just the worst.
Yeah, you are.
I know. I have accepted this. I would like to go on to healing, and by that I mean just pissing off people. Not really though. I want to actually, like, why I wanted to kind of come on here is because I feel like this is true for not just me but a lot of people. I feel like kind of what I've done, which is minimal at best, is just kind of calling into the void and like having no one really understand or care what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it's like I don't know. It's because I feel like that's true for everything I do, which is why I turn to my beautiful Vidya. They understand me.
Order me Pigeon. I don't have one of Sargon's dick pics. I do apologise.
You can't get on stream. You can't get on stream.
Oh,
Can we
fuck.
please have that? Like,
What?
please.
You want a dick pic from Sargon? Okay.
I want a dick pic
I'll
from
work-
anyone. Anyone who's willing to give me one.
I'll get one out there. That's fine.
Yeah.
Will you buy Pigeon Call of Duty?
Yeah, will you buy
Oh.
the Advanced Warfare?
Wait, what's your annual salary?
I'm so poor. I'm so poor, but I have a daily prostitution job. I think that'll work.
That'll
Uh,
work. Just send some of the blood money over from that, alright?
Donate blood.
No,
Literally.
no, not blood. No, Steam doesn't accept blood. Alright.
Oh, dang it.
He accepts semen. Please donate a lot of that.
Birth beautiful children from Gaben.
Oh, sweet.
So Drew.
Anyway, back on topic.
Yeah. What do you think Gamergate needs to do to be more efficient or more focused, or what do you think is best for it to do to succeed?
I've been asked this question a couple times by some of my friends in like a different manner of words of like what, like why does this keep going and what does it need to do to keep going? I usually respond with what it has to not do. And one of those, and like kind of one of my basic like core principles is don't censor anyone ever. And I feel like some kind of rogue individuals in the community have started doing that. Like I believe that anyone can really say anything. Anyone can really say anything they want. It's the merit of what you said based on the kind of person you are and like what you're kind of pointing your whatever you're saying at should be what like kind of makes what you're saying. It shouldn't be just, oh, you're white, you're male, you're straight, discredited, shut up, blocked.
I feel that some of it is that, but at the same time, I think we have to remember that some of the problem is that people are incredibly emotional about Gamergate. So sometimes you get. I have seen some
Why?
pretty
Why are they so?
dickish.
Why are they so
I've-
emotional? I kind of want to know that, because if it has to, it's like a lot of, like, if you've been scorned on the internet, why? Also, I feel
Because a lot of people have actually put a lot on the line to throw out support.
that's true. I feel like people, this is probably going, and I really, like, no matter what side you're on, I really wish that this didn't really have to ruin your career for a lot of people and discredit everything you've done. I don't want that to happen because I feel like a lot of people are going to fall after this. Like, on both sides, frankly.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to kind of the question at hand. Going back to the question at hand, I really think that how a lot of people have been like sending letters to major companies, like telling them that you shouldn't advertise on this person. That's a good idea on the surface, but I feel like some people are kind of taking it overboard. In a way, like, I think that now to compose my thoughts about it. Sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah, kind of to. I feel like a lot of people have taken that too far, with like that's kind of our sole mission, and that's going back to, like, if you explain it to the companies and they believe it's right, then good. But also on another topic, like kind of the, like a lot of people have been making whitelists. Those are a good idea. I like those. Also, the fact that you have to opt in to get those. Those are good.
Wait, a whitelist? Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds a little bit like misogyny.
Oh,
God,
we
someone
should call it the list then.
We have to have our token female on the stream.
It did actually sound a bit. Whitelist,
Oh
you
no,
know.
people are seeing my true identity as a neo-Nazi. Damn it!
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude.
So you're one of the neo-Nazis they keep saying we have.
Oh no, I've been discovered. I'm so sorry. No, really. Yeah, no, I think a lot of people on, kind of going back to the question, I feel like a lot of people on our side are taking it too seriously. Like a lot of the tone policing that I've seen, that stuff is getting a bit out of hand.
Well, what do you mean by tone policing? I think it's good that you clarify that because there's a lot of...
Essentially, making
Yeah.
sure the people from our side, the pro Gamergate side, are diplomatic in their ways and don't clash heads or say anything that would actually make them out to be, like, in any sense,
it's funny,
misogynist or bigoted or anything.
It's funny that you say that though, because every time someone has been accused of tone policing, 3 days later they then recant it. You know, and so if that, you know, if they had any conviction, you know, in their words, they obviously realised they were a dick.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not tone policing when you actually then admit that, yeah, my bad, I actually was a bit of a dick in public. You know.
Yeah. I'm not talking. You can apologize for it, and I'll take your apology. But like, like stopping.
Pigeon?
Sorry.
What is?
Oh, you were leaking. All right, continue, Drew.
What was I saying?
Well,
Yeah,
you were
something about tone policing.
Yeah, it was like you were saying that it shouldn't, you know, stop somebody from making a statement. That's the problem.
Mute him, 'cause
Sorry?
I hear something in the background, and I don't know what I'm hearing it from. Oh, damn it, that's Pole's stream.
Oh, okay.
I had
well,
Pole's
just mute
stream in the background, and I was hearing it. I am sorry. Anyway, what was I saying?
It was to do with the fact that tone policing stops people from saying what they, you know, want to say. I disagree. I think people say it anyway, but don't deal with the responsibility and the consequences. So,
that is true. I don't think it's stopping anyone, but I do feel like it's putting pressure on people to not do so. Even if those people go out to apologize, we're still like you can still have more people coming in and telling people what to say and what not to say. I believe, like going back to censorship, I believe you can say whatever you want. It should be trusted off of your merit of what you said based on like what you're saying it at.
There's an aspect of Gamergate and the tone policing that I think there's an easy way to kind of fix this. It's we don't have leaders, but we have leaders by numbers.
Mhm.
The more popular ones, the people that have the more powerful voice, and we don't like to admit that they're leaders, but in a way they kind of are. And
Yeah, that's like
and
I could just off the top of my head I can name like you got Mundane Matt and Pole and
a lot of
them.
them. A lot of them actually, don't have a problem with tone police because they're
Yeah,
not
most of
as
them.
big. But and these guys are good guys. Don't get me wrong. But I think if King of Pole would make his stream more about the people in Gamergate, I think his stream needs to be a little more open
I
instead
like
of
King of Pole just because he's so funny. That's why I like him. And
yeah.
Oh, no, I
That's
love
why a
him.
lot of people like him, and he is a funny guy.
yeah, yeah, he is kind of deep into it now.
I just feel like if we make the streams about the actual people in Gamergate
Yeah,
rather
like
than
what you
one
guys-
host.
What you guys have did, like pulling people in, thank you so much, because like I said earlier, I don't feel like a lot of people feel like they have a voice at all in this.
And if they start doing that, if they start making their streams about the people in Gamergate that don't have a voice, I don't think tone policing will be as much of a problem because most of their stream is actually about other Gamergate people.
Yeah,
Doug,
I'm amazed.
can I
I'm
just
amazed.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. No.
Well, I mean, this is actually something that I've been trying to push for like a month and a half. The two Sargon shows that we've done are not enough, but more people should have by now cottoned on to this fact, that we need to air as much of, each other's opinions and come to sort of some consensus, giving people, some purpose to actually maybe, do those emails instead of just shouting at people to do something. Is creating that community spirit, like, and then for instance, but there's so many people tuning in to other things and doing, the sort of popular things, like we've had with regards to niche gamer and supporting the infrastructure. We really need to actually look at ourselves introspectively as a community to actually push this forward if we actually want to go, the whole 9 yards and create new media. And so it's kind of like a two-way street, but we're not. Sometimes the celebrities really do stop people doing that sort of interaction, basically.
It's like an act of drowning out their voices, really, isn't it? Like it's all well and good to say
It's
it's a lead-
unintentionally drowning out.
Oh, obviously.
No, it's not. It's not. But you're not. It's Paul could use his massive
His power.
his reach, yes, to direct people to do this. To just even highlight some of the smaller streams that exist. He gets regularly between 3,000 5,000 people watching him, throw spaghetti everywhere. We've got John throwing spaghetti to an audience of 50 people, but he's still doing it, and he's still giving people more of a voice, to be heard by 50 other people that would then retweet your message, start following you, start supporting you in whatever endeavors you do with regards to Gamergate.
I don't have any endeavors. I enjoy kind of like the fact that I have a Twitter is kind of amazing. Like the fact that I even
Well, then that's fine, but there are some out there that.
I'm probably gonna start using it more because recently I kind of like, I don't know, got into a bit upset after seeing the Anita interview on the Colbert. That just kind of pissed me off.
Well, the other thing to remember that interview, she did show herself up with the entire. Well, there's so many games. Was it Colbert asked her?
She's unfathomably myopic. That's my problem.
Yeah, and he asked her, so do you think video games cause violence? And she said, oh, no, absolutely not. And so he said, well, how do you think they cause misogyny? And she didn't have a response to that.
Nope. Nope. Like the name 3 games. Like let me go to Twitter. I like that hashtag happened for about 5 seconds, and I was part of it. Just like that really just kind of upset me in like kind of a deep level, just because she was so wrong about everything. But again, she is unfathomably myopic, and Colbert is I don't think he has done research himself. The people who run the show probably have, but who knows where they're getting their info.
No,
I
he
mean,
has a shit ton of writers who do everything, and he sits there and he like edits stuff. But yeah,
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah, that's been the way of these kind of shows for the last like 15 years.
I understand that. I mean, like, I don't think anything on TV, even if it's said live, ever is like made up on the spot.
of course not. It's controlled by the patriarchy. Don't you know?
When did we let an SJW in here? Jesus fucking Christ.
Did we?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that
Like-
was actually one of Nick Denton's disinformation agents. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, she started following everyone on Twitter and just like mining information. So
yeah,
you're probably
I'm
going to get
getting
about.
paid to do this, obviously.
So, I
Yeah.
think that's all the time we can have for you, dude.
Yeah, I took up, I think, way too much time than I
It's
should have.
okay, man.
I think
Thanks
it's
for
the
coming
same
on,
amount
Drew.
of time.
Yeah, the last guy, I think, said things more strongly than me.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people. I've dropped my spaghetti multiple times whilst on streams. It's fine. You get used to it.
Yeah.
It's
Let
live
me
on
just
air.
change my Steam name. Let me just change my Steam name to something not stupid so I can give it out.
Oh, that's cool. If you want to buy me Advanced Warfare, that's fine.
Oh, shut up, Pigeon.
I'll buy you
I
anything.
will-
I'll
you
treat
were hired
nice.
by-
I will if
You
I
were
wasn't the
hired by
poorest white.
Stalker.
Alright,
I
if
would
anything,
if I wasn't the
I'll-
poorest white person in the country.
I think that's a strong statement to make. There's a lot of rednecks that would disagree with you.
I live in
All right.
Kentucky.
I chop wood.
And
So-
anyway,
Yeah, but you're Amish, John. No one cares about you.
So we need to get moving because our stream is still being
I'll
opposed.
give my
on
info.
now.
Actually, that
Anyway,
means Power Grape is a tool of the matriarchy because her her husband is shit at bringing in money, so that's why she got this job to shill, for SGJW. I'm through the looking glass here, Sour. I know you.
All right.
Well,
Anyway,
I infiltrated the white cis shitlords because my husband is a super white cis shitlord, like
Yeah.
a D&D nerd from the 80s. So yeah,
It's self-loathing. That's why you've done
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I know.
Thanks for having on, Drew.
all right.
Yeah,
Wait,
lovely having you on, mate.
can I info, please?
Yes.
Okay. I am PK Fireball on Twitter. I am PK Fireball on YouTube. Please don't watch any of my videos ever. I am PK Fireball on Steam. I am my picture is Jack Black. And I don't know. I'll just disappear into the void.
All right,
So
man.
goodbye.
Thanks for
Thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah,
Have a good
come
night.
back anytime.
All right. Bye.
And next up we have Carter.
Before
Sorry for the
we
wait,
start,
Carter.
Oh
yeah.
Just a heads up. I've been trying to keep the Twitter handles updated for the streams for contact info. I can't do this right now because I'm super busy, but I will update it when the stream ends with everyone's Twitter contacts with all the guests' Twitters.
That's just
this-
that's what that is. It's just been lazy. That's what it is. Just
This
yeah.
This is a prime example, though, of what the guy was just saying, who was just on. Our stream's gone down to 28 viewers now because King of Pole is now streaming live. It's
To
just
be
a
fair, that's only half the number we have.
I know, but it's just still a perfect example, isn't it, man? It's just like,
Wait, how many people are actually watching?
We have
29.
about 30, and we had 50. We've
had up
averaged
to
around 50.
Yeah.
And of those 30 people, how many of you guys have the YouTube live loaded up as well?
Hey, don't point out the truth. It hurts, okay?
Yeah. We're
Carter,
just stroking our own egos here,
You guys can hear me okay, right?
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. Hi, everyone. It's good to see you. Good to meet you. Thank you very much for having me on the show. Pigeon's just been trying to blackmail me into me buying him Call of Duty, but
I held strong against the patriarchy because I know he was trying to sell out pretty hard.
Yeah, well, I've been trying to sell out since I got into this, don't I?
Fair
John,
enough.
fire him.
Yeah, for people who don't know, hi, I'm Carter. I do like a really small community YouTube channel on YouTube, just like comedy-based stuff, like for shits and giggles. My stuff isn't normally particularly serious, and like the Gamergate issue itself is something that I tend to avoid publicly. Right now, I literally have a notepad in front of me because I'm writing a script for the first time in my life to do my own video on Gamergate tomorrow. So like this is quite good for me to get in some information and stuff. So I'm going to be a little bit of a clusterfuck brain when I talk. So if I say anything, please feel free to jump in and call bullshit on it so I can correct myself if I say something stupid.
That's
Because
okay, mate, go ahead.
it's totally fine. Gamergate is just a big, I like saying it, clusterfuck issue. It's a lot of issues, especially on stuff online through Twitter and conversations that start online and develop online. You can see that in a variety of different issues. It's a black and white issue. It's either this or that, and sadly, Gamergate is a very big grey issue. No one's going to win this war. Like, no one's going to win. When Gamergate is long gone, it's just going to be people have lost their credibility, people have been threatened to death, people have undermined journalism, people have questioned stuff. It's not going to change anything. It's just going to piss everybody off, and it's going to undermine this fantastic industry we have. Gamergate started off as this very incredible motion of, a brilliant, pure ideal of looking into journalism and go, okay, are we being manipulated here? Is this a system that we want to challenge and question? And it's morphed into this kind of bile and hate from both sides where very intelligent people are having a debate and then stupid people jump into these debates, say stupid shit, do stupid things, like Anita Sarkeesian and things like that, where they take an idea and they just, without just poorly done, they just destroy any credibility this movement had. One of the sad things to me is I noticed Gamergate through her. I heard of Anita Sarkeesian before Gamergate, so I was like, oh, this is about women's feminism, and so I jumped on Twitter like an idiot, like everyone did, and went, oh, this is like a really stupid notion. Anita Sarkeesian's talking out of her ass, nitpicking very small issues in video games and just cherry picking and a very dated opinion. And then, I was obviously corrected because it's about journalism, and it's such a shame that this issue, it's a very serious issue in our industry of, games, journalism being manipulated and changed and altered, is being drowned out by incompetence, and that's what it is. It's not. It's such a, it's fantastic that we live in a society now where you can question everything, but it's so bad where her opinion's so dumb. I know it's really rude for me to say, and I apologise if there's anyone watching who's a fan or has an opinion of it.
I don't apologise. Fuck you, Anita. There you go. Yeah. See, now, you can say anything. That's fine. Just don't worry.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's such a big issue, and it's just a shame to see Gamergate become this kind of people take Anita Sarkeesian and Brianna Wu, who I know very little about, but again, she's one of those people that sounds brilliant to me. I'm sure she's a lovely person. Yeah, fucking right. People are just they clutch on Gamergate like it's this, I have an opinion that makes no sense and I have no scientific or basic evidence behind this. I'm gonna yell at this large demographic of people that completely undermines my Isn't it the statistic now? It's half of PC gamers alone are women. It's a huge demographic. Female gaming is a massive industry now. It's not, it's not the early days where it wasn't teenage boys fantasy. Gaming is a very general topic. This argument would have been better in the 80s or 90s. Now it's retarded and redundant. It doesn't make any sense. When she hates, she dislikes. I'm repeating what everyone else is saying, and it's sad because it's. But again, on that regard, in terms of Anita, we still have Gamergate issues where people are giving her death threats and threatening to kill her and rape her and building games about punching her to death, and it's a bit it's sad, really, because it's this very intelligent conversation we were having, and then it just sort of got ruined by morons. It's like having a party at the UN, and then a retard bus crashes through the wall, and it's just collapse of this wonderful debate. It's fantastic.
Well, I mean, on that point, though, I should note that all that stuff was created long before Gamergate ever started. She brought that baggage with her.
I like to say as well, on a professional standpoint, in terms of her show, Feminist Frequency, I'm not bragging or anything. I work in a very small media company based in my hometown. I showed one of my a producer, one of my bosses, Adam, who produces like legitimate films for distribution, and he was amazed about the sheer amount of money she's gained and how much money has gone into that production because I could make that show for
But that's the thing. They don't seem to have increased in quality since she got $150,000 cash injection.
Yeah. No, they have, if anything, stayed at a very easy to do kind of green screen or whatever. I don't actually. I mean, to be honest, the production values are appalling as much as the research is appalling.
Maybe all the money's going towards Macintosh's salary.
Oh, Macintosh. Oh god, the Macintoshes. More and more comes out about them, and they are very interesting individuals to study.
Yeah.
Their motivations. And I also stumbled across a picture today. Sargon pointed me in the direction of it. It's of him being pepper sprayed at a rally, and it's just Jonathan McIntosh snotting out of his nose and crying. He's a massive social justice warrior before, but wasn't involved in feminism at all back in the day. He was like, he got chucked out of a WTO conference, which was quite amusing. But the real weird thing about him is he's deleted. He's through the Wayback When machine. He's the only way you can find his website. He's deleted a lot of his original content. Why? God knows. Oh, sorry.
Absolutely. I'm listening.
Yeah, but just to go back to your sort of thing, it is sad, but any movement is going to suffer from, and with the open nature basically of the internet, I think it's also a great thing that everybody can.
Yeah, it's a film.
Because otherwise, SOPA, censorship, we're going to head back into those territories.
Yeah, there's no censorship, and that's fine. But to elaborate, I don't understand. I would have expected better from these so-called academics, being that I sort of dabble in that myself. And as you said, Carter, it is sad because in their minds, they believe that we hate them logically. Like there's such a thing as hate being a logical reaction.
Yeah. Absolutely,
when we all know, that hate is an emotion. You can't have a logical emotion. And I respect what they're trying to do in a way with Anita and the feminist frequency, but all of it is emotion. There is no fact, there is no science, there is nothing there. We have facts, we have science, she doesn't care. So we're on two different planes here. One is emotionally based and the other is logically based. And for her to assume that I hate her logically speaking, now I'm not saying you can't hate her.
Yeah, of course.
What I am saying is she should respect the fact that we are very logical in what we do and what we say. But she won't do that, obviously.
I mean, even the statistics that you've quoted are only from a core sample of demographics about gamers, basically, as well.
Yeah.
They're never fully representative. So, I mean, any times that they try to do, I mean, if you look at the ESA figures, they have to vet and qualify. I think it's either 20,000 or 200,000 people as representatives for their statistical analysis, which isn't, a proper, and they claim that's as proportional as they can be, but it's not. You're never going to really find those kind of statistics, and they're not, and they can be so subverted. To prove a point.
You can misrepresent all sorts of statistics.
Yeah, you can.
The thing is, with this kind of movement of people moving into this argument and stuff, it's the problem with these arguments like Anita and stuff. Don't get me wrong, a woman having an opinion on how women are represented in video games is fantastic. I think it's really good to see people like Sarah and Tara getting involved in the conversation where they can, it's women. I mean, like my 15-year-old self back in the day would be flipping out that so many women are in video games. It's awesome. It's such a great thing to have, and it's awesome to have a dialogue on how you're represented. That's hugely important to everyone. What I hate is when misinformation or incompetence drowns everything out, because the problem with Anita and the problem with several of these feminist activists and things like that, I don't know if you guys have heard of Darkside Phil. Don't suppose you've heard of him?
Yeah, I have actually.
Yeah. The incompetent boob made a video on it, and it just sums up my point brilliantly.
Oh no, he did, didn't he, on Gamergate?
It was
no!
It was like a car crash. It was like the worst. It was like literally AIDS via my eyes.
You know what? Now that you bring up Darkside Phil, this is interesting. He is supposedly the king of hate. I think more people sort of hate him than Anita. Like, they're on that same level, and yet, where is his Patreon? Where is his... Like, where's his shit?
Now, bear with me 1 second. I will rip him a new one in a second. Just bear with me before I lose this point. It's the problem with Anita and stuff like that is they're playing a blinder, because what they're doing is they're selling their opinions, then embracing all this hate, and then throwing it at the mainstream media, which all, in all fairness, are all fucking incompetent and can't comprehend, that term research that media journalism does. And no disrespect for Colt Colbert or any of these people that Anita's spoken to in the past several months. They'll come on this, they'll hear about Gamergate, and they will Google. Their researcher, their intern, their 21-year-old just straight out of college will Google search Gamergate, take the very core essential what's going on, which is this Anita bollocks, and just assume that's it. And that's how incompetence spreads, because stupid people are loudest, and it's stupid and retarded, and it's a mess.
It is.
I'm all fair for like opinions and that being entitled. I mean, that gives us the pleasure of doing this, and everyone's allowed to have their own opinion and such. But when you're a certain amount of incompetence, I do believe you should be shut down and ridiculed for it. Like,
Yeah.
Because I'm not being horrible, but you have to outbreed it. You have to outbreed incompetence, or it will spread and it will suck.
Especially when you say you're an academic.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not right.
Going back to
not an academic. She is not an academic in the slightest, and she's disseminating her message to school groups, basically. Classroom curriculum. That is ridiculous, and it's radical feminism. It's not feminism in the slightest. It's third wave, proper.
Off the fucking deep end.
Yeah.
Wait. Do you think it's a coincidence that let's just call it what it is, radical feminism has been involved in gaming, or what do you think about that?
Who are you asking?
Like, is it a coincidence that radical feminism has decided?
We know what you're asking. We're asking who have you.
Yeah, who are you asking?
Anyone really, or Carter more specifically.
I mean, obviously they've clutched on it like the cash cow that it is, and are manipulated it for their own gain. But going back to what we were talking about with Darkside Phil, it's taking a trend, and they're just not getting it. It's like you're not comprehending how the internet works, and having you can like being. It's hard to make any sense of it, but if you're so, it's hard to understand how you could be so stupid and not comprehend that people are going to react this way. There's that famous guy from CBS. I don't know if you've seen the video where he just shat all over Twitch for like an hour. It went on it was on 60 Minutes. I will link it in the description. It's just a perfect summary of someone taking a very small, like just taking something at face value and not comprehending it. And it's this horrible trend that we have that people and YouTubers look at a small issue, don't do any research into the subject, and just spew out more misinformation. And Darkside Phil is a king of that. He is brilliant of taking an issue and just completely not getting it and grasping it.
Is this the same fucking Darkside Phil that bans anyone in his Twitch chat who talks shit about his girlfriend?
And Panda Lee is his girlfriend, and she moderates, and yeah. I've been there. I've been banned. It's great.
It's so cute. It's so funny.
Oh my god.
It is the best.
So Carter,
yes.
What do you think Gamergate needs to do better, or what do you think they should be focused on to do better or to succeed?
Well, we talk about like how like the guy previous, I can't remember his name. It was Drew, wasn't it? I think it was Drew.
Drew, yeah.
Sorry, Drew. PK Fire, lovely bloke. Really good opinions. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. My bad. He brought up a good point about how we should have a better view or opinion of developers, and the relationship should be better. There's a really good quote that Danny O'Dwyer from GameSpot said once, where video games are sold like they're TV and films, and they're not. They're more like cars and books. Like the content is the main focus, not the creators. We live in an industry where a lot of people don't know who make their games, and it's very easy to just pick on a company rather than that, and that's a big issue a lot of developers have, is And a lot of journalists have like IGN and stuff because they're so large. They are just the face now, and it needs to be like if you want to do a promotion with somebody, be transparent about it. Especially like YouTubers and such. You know, if you're going like that's the thing that a Gamergate needs. I think should be the learning curve for a lot of the industry. It should be people are annoyed because there isn't transparency. We should give them that. Like everyone's like Colbert made a fucking retarded joke saying like, oh, this is super, like being sarcastic, saying like, oh, journalism's mega important. To a lot of people it is, and you know, this is a hobby that matters to a lot of people, and you can see why there's a lot of hate in this argument because you know when something's undermined or challenged or questioned, it hurts them. Gaming's a beautiful industry, and I think we all gather here, a lot of us late at night, and there's a great amount of people on stream, and we've all done it. We all love video games, and we passionately care about it. And we want it to become better, we want people to become better, and we want everyone to play it. You know, that's the whole reason I do my YouTube channel, is to have fun and to enjoy it and to be that comfort for people. And that's what gaming is. It's helped me through a lot. It's helped for a lot of other people. And I can see why a lot of people get frustrated and annoyed when people like it come out. And I don't agree with it, but I understand when people threaten to kill her because people are crazy. Because people.
She does. Her arguments are so ridiculous a lot of the time that it does aggravate you to a ridiculous extent. Like I honestly wouldn't mind if there was someone who was going to have give cultural critique to video games, but it's about doing it correctly. It's not about just saying whatever shit you want to and then everyone just taking it as gospel. That's the problem that everyone has with Anita Sarkeesian, is that I'm sure there's plenty of bloody examples of games like having some pretty bloody sexist undertones, but she never uses those. She just goes for these incredibly terrible straw man.
Yeah, right. The previous one she's mentioned is like Hitman and like picking on Hitman for like a sequence, and it's like you've just not even looked into the game and you've seen a clip and that's your perception.
And the worst thing is that there was a sexist clip in that. There is a pretty sexist moment in that game where Hitman is essentially I forgot what the main antagonist is of that game, but the main bad guy essentially sends assassins to go kill you, and for some reason they're nuns in BDSM gear.
Yeah, they're called the Saints, and they're all dressed up as SM. But I guess from a media standpoint, that's just a visual. I don't reckon that was sexist. I just reckon it's like.
Well, yeah, but surely that would have been. Even from her, surely that would have been a better point to stab at than.
Yeah.
Oh, you can knock out prostitutes.
Hitman's always used religious imagery within its film, in its games. Like a lot of it's based around churches, and the first game was set you're based within a church. The religion has always been set through Hitman, so I guess you can manipulate that. But that's always there's been rosary beads and such. That's been a consistent trend. That's like a
question.
Yeah, for me.
Was calling them the Saints a slam at Saints Row?
No.
Oh, missed opportunity.
No, yeah. it was a reference to kind of pretty much all the Hitman's old history, the entire fact that wasn't one of your best friends, wasn't one of the points of one of Hitman games saving a priest?
Yeah, one of your you're in a church, and your church is your point of contact, and the vic is your point of call. So he's like, oh yeah, God save you, can you go and shoot this drug lord in the face? Okay, thanks. I think it was the first game.
I think it was the second, I think.
Can I just say, the Hitman movie was fucking awful.
It was. Ebol was a terrible director. You should go step on the Lego.
I don't think that was Ebol, though. I want Shyamalan and Bowl to combine and make a film, because I know it'd be AIDS, but it'd be really fascinating to watch AIDS combine and make a super AIDS. It'd be great. They'd call it a bowl of the movie. It'd be great. It would just be a complete clusterfuck. It would be fantastic. I'll pay all the money.
Yeah, they should start with this film is based on true events, and then just go off the deep end. I'd love that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll wrap up because you need to have someone more intelligent to come on.
No, you're doing great, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, we live in this thriving industry, and going back to your point, what does Gamergate need to do? It needs to kind of, and this almost sounds like I'm saying we're going to war. It sounds very overdramatic, but it needs to become a fist and just come in quick and hard and pick one target and just nail it to the wall and just make an example, not with hate and vile, with counter arguments and opinions. Get the biggest YouTubers, get the most prolific journalists, and just do a coordinated assault and just pound someone like Anita's opinion to the ground until it's dust. And I know that sounds horrible and it sounds really mean, But
Honestly, I think people have already tried that. I mean, Thunderfoot's been at it ever since she stepped onto the scene. The problem, and I agree with you completely. It needs to be done, but the reality is, you alluded to it earlier, and that's the first line defense to mainstream media is a bunch of free interns or unpaid employees that are fresh out of college or are still in college, and they're all getting their, gender studies degrees or English degrees or bogus, I don't really gonna study anything like Anita's degrees. And they have these jobs, and a lot of them, it's all nepotism, and their parents are rich, so they get these positions. But they're the ones doing the grunt work for the people in power. So the people in power are only being presented 10 articles that agree with their, radical extremist SJW opinion, and they're just going, all right, well, it works for me, and then they put it out there because all they care about is money, and they're making plenty of it. So they'll sell you whatever garbage they want. And it's like that, but that's all the information they're getting. It's like, I don't think Colbert looked at this at all. I think he was handed a script. He went for the script, and if he looked at it, he went, great, this will get the third wave feminist off my back.
I think Colbert, to all fairness to Colbert should play Game Maker safe. Like, he did combat on a lot of stuff, and I think he did. But I think Colbert, at the end of the day, he is a journalist at heart, but I believe he wants to put on a good show, and I think he likes to keep it very open. He could take some people to point, but it doesn't set the rest of his show's tone.
Did you hear that some bits were cut out?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Some bits that really made Anita get challenged, basically, that she couldn't answer.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's...
Cerebus, was that confirmed?
This happens with all Colbert shows, though. Like, that is something that just happens. They take all the funny bits out.
I can understand it happens, but they would have been very pertinent, basically, to the point that Gamergate were raising.
Oh, for us, yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to be aware as well. If you look at Colbert's demographic, they're not exactly all internet. Like, I wouldn't believe his demographic. Yeah, the whole Gamergate issue anyway. So I guess he wanted to talk about it because it was trending, but I feel like he was glossing over it because I didn't think that he really wanted to. A lot of people, which I fucking hate, by the way, he's almost afraid of putting his flag in somewhere, and that's kind of the biggest issue as well. Is a lot of journalists want to take a stab, and they do, and they're gagging for a bite, but they're too afraid to. And it's a shame to see because it's Gamergate. Like I said, it's a grey issue, and it's such a clusterfuck of incompetence. It's on both sides. Stuff said that doesn't make any sense. People are just manipulating shit. Feminists are just straight up lying now. It's a horrible issue, and like I said, Gamergate just needs to trim the fat, and just like a group of people within Gamergate need to just roll up and just drop a bomb on somebody and just go, right, this is the movement, this is what we represent, we are this, we are a group, call it whatever you want to call it, but we are what represents Gamergate, and that should be it. Like, people are saying that feminists and reviewers after Gamergate were doing coordinated assaults where multiple journalists from Kotaku were launching several articles basically saying the same thing. We should counter do the same thing and pound something into the ground until it goes away. And that sounds daft, but like Tara was saying, people, like, media doesn't get it, but then we're going to have to play the game. Like, if Anti-Gamergate's manipulating a system through lies and talking bollocks, we need to not talk bollocks, but just be hardcore and it's not fat shaming, Sarah.
It is fat shaming. Trim the fat.
I'm a fat bastard too.
He said trim the fat.
Check your thin privilege.
I feel like I've been male prejudice again. Women are drowning me out. I feel.
Yeah, I love that entire fat and thin privilege thing. It's great.
So I don't know. Just kind of. Just be more happy. It's video games, for fuck's sake. We all love it. Just ignore people and.
But they don't love it. That's the problem. If these people actually gave a shit about video games in the industry, then they wouldn't be waging this war against us. They wouldn't be working at these magazines saying the crap that they're saying. It's like, I think the reality is a lot of these people that are writing this crap, like the Gamers Are Dead post and all that, you're looking at a group of people who this is the only job they could get.
Yeah.
I mean, the unemployment rate in America for our age demographic is anywhere from 20 to 30%, depending on where you live in the country. This is all they could get. This is the, it's like, this industry is very, very important to us. But I think even Colbert, like, where he's just like ethics in gaming journalism. Like, it's a joke to the rest of the media world. These people are the rejects that weren't good enough to even get hired at the HuffPost website to spew their BS. It's like they weren't good enough to get on. They weren't good enough to get on their local 5 o'clock news channel's blog. Okay, so it's like this is what they're doing, and they've got a chip on their shoulders, and they have an outlet, and that's what they're doing. They just this is all they got. This is all they can do. They don't care about video games. They don't look like us, and I really think. And it's like the problem is, it's like we can't prove it, but I don't even think a lot of these people even play video games. I think they're handed Cliff Notes, they rewrite them with their terrible spelling and grammar that no one ever looks over, and with somebody with dyslexia pointing that out, I think it's hilarious. And it's like, you can try reading a Kotaku or Polygon article, it's just garbage. And it's like, they're not edited, they don't care, they just rubber stamp this stuff out. I sincerely doubt they played Bayonetta 2 for a week or 2 weeks or even a day or an hour before writing that Polygon review. They're just like, no, all right, this is what it's about, blah, 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 sexism. All right, that's good, rubber stamp, go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Me.
I mean, yeah. It's a hard issue to grasp, man. Like, I think with Anita, going back to Anita as well, I think Anita's playing a ball because I reckon she's just playing the game and she fucking knows it. Like, she is definitely just looking for shit, and she is. Like, she recently made a tweet recently about the Call of Duty trailer, and she's taken there's a part of the live action trailer where I don't know if any of you guys like Call of Duty. I've just played it. Video's up. It's a good little video.
I would like Call of Duty.
Pigeon, I'm not buying it from you. It's not Christmas yet. You're gonna have to wait. Maybe for good.
I know the tweet you're talking about. She publicly shamed.
Yeah, like basically this guy falls out of a building.
My response to her was, she needs to move to an Amish villain because she's just a ridiculous Puritan.
It's like reference. The guy fell out of a building, landed on the floor, and he's all like delirious, like all over the shop, and this really over-sexualized girl appears, and he's like, oh shit, and then he wakes up and turns out to be a goat. It's to show that he's delirious after falling from a fucking building. It wasn't a point about how girls are sex tropes, and she's taken that and just gone, quick! I love the armies. We will march on the madness.
She's a beta, isn't she? She's not. I don't think she's a complete fucking idiot. She knows what she's doing when she tweets out. I think it's no surprise that all of these school shootings, they were all committed by men. I think this is because of toxic masculinity, and it's like, she knows what she's doing. Like, it's plainly obvious.
Evidence that she is a complete fucking idiot if she's going to be making comments like that.
Well, no, she's an idiot, but she knows what she's doing. She wants to incite people to get angry at her and throw vitriol at her, so she has more reason to say, "Oh, I'm being harassed." Like, that's her entire point.
You think she's writing those tweets still?
Like the ultimate troll.
Yeah.
She's not writing those tweets.
So let's
know that.
kind of change gears a little. Cerberus, this is going to kind of go back to what you were saying about viewer count and all that.
Yeah.
And I think this would be kind of a good thing, but it'd be like Project Signal Boost, where we're supposed to have, like, we have all these different streams, right? But most of the people, they only go to like a couple of them. I feel like if we set up a system of signal boosting and have a better schedule lined up, people will go to more of the streams, and they'll be able to see more of the opinions and more of how different the streams are set up. Especially for open streams like this, it would benefit.
It's hugely important. Right? I didn't even know stuff like this existed till tonight. Like, you need to stream earlier, and it just especially for UK people, because I know me and Pigeon are UK, and a few others came on tonight. So we wouldn't have to have the whisper and things, and we wouldn't have to
Now,
By the way, I am dropping my voice mega low just in case I am. So.
The major demographic, though, seems to be mainly American. I mean, and this stream is hosted by a cabal of Americans, so it's put out
we are
there.
just front men.
Yeah.
No, but no, I completely get your point, and we will take it into consideration. By the way, John, if you're busy, don't worry, mate. You can just mute your microphone, and we can continue going on. You don't have to be actively here the entire time.
I've been in and out. I've been listening the whole time, but I can't speak much because I've got a lot of people contacting me at once. So
yeah, that's fine. But guys, if you anyone listening, if you want to get on, just follow me on Twitter and send me a message saying, "Hey, can I want to get on?" And we'll get you on. Okay.
Also, Pigeon, please do keep track of the side chat in the Hangout.
Okay. Why am I doing this? Right. I'm trying to keep track of the Twitters. What?
You're not very good, are you?
I'm trying to play Spelunky at the same time.
It's a hard job, isn't it, Pigeon?
Yeah,
hey, you've never been a door man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've just finished Call of Duty while I'm on the foot into you guys. So.
Is it good? By the way, is it a good single player?
What game?
It's good. It's spacey. It's good. It's good. Troy Baker's in it. There's fuck all though. Yeah, it's good. It's simple. It's nice to see it. Not just about America. Fuck yeah. It's kind of flat.
America.
And it's definitely a good laugh. Some of the set pieces are really nice. It's a Call of Duty game. Don't take it too seriously. But I made a video on my channel, which I'm going to shamelessly plug right now for the first 2 levels, and you can see me go from regret to buying it to a little bit of ecstasy for having a bit of fun. So it's a good game. If you're going to play it, go into it knowing it's just the Michael Bay of video games, and don't take it too seriously, and you'll have fun. You'll have a blast. And Kevin Spacey, if you love House of Cards, it's basically his character from House of Cards, but he's a warlord and he's a bit of a dick. So it's good. It's fun. And it's enjoyable.
Pay for Kevin Spacey's likeness rights? Because I've seen a screenshot of that character. Oh my god!
It's him mocapping it. It's him in the set with a load of blokes.
That's awesome.
He's quality. He's mega relaxed. Perfect. Troy Baker's in it. There's a couple of actors you go, oh hey, it's that guy from that thing, but it's good. It's cool.
Oh, that's really cool, man. Well, it was lovely having you on, and please do come on again. Do you want to plug anything whilst you're here to all 20 people?
Yeah, so I'll put a link in the description. Please follow me on Twitter. It's Carter with a 5 instead of an E, because I'm mega witty like that. Please check out my channel. I do a comedy show. Support the show because it's just mega simple and fun. I'll post the link. I've covered Evolve. I'm covering Evolve going up right now.
Oh, so you mean the queuing simulator? Yeah. I've been enjoying that fun.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
My official Gamergate video comes out tomorrow. I'll post a link and tweet it to you guys, so hopefully you can share it. And please call me anytime tomorrow, whenever you're doing this again. I'm more happy to drop in and say hi. Thank you very much for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Sure,
no problem, man.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
And now, sorry, guys, we've been giving the guests some more time because surprisingly, it turns out the Gamergate community has a lot of interesting things to say. So Yvonne has been patiently waiting. Fuck off, sir. So Yvonne has been waiting patiently for the last God knows how long. Yvonne, are you there?
Yeah, I'm hanging out. I'm still at work technically. I'm just the only one left in the building, so I can actually talk without having to worry about people overhearing me, which helps.
Oh, brilliant. So, what do you want to talk about that is somewhat Gamergate related today?
Oh, everything I was thinking about and everything that I wanted to talk about has already been talked about.
Oh, that's okay. Well, fuck, marry, kill. Okay, fuck, marry, kill. We got Leigh Alexander, Zoe Quinn, Brianna Wu. Go.
Well, I watched the David Pacman interview with Chu, and I just wanted to keep punching my my monitor over and over again. Either that or reach through the monitor with a comb and hand it to Chu, but, well,
He was going for the grunge look today.
I mean, to each their own. Nobody has great hair days, but...
They apparently never have great hair days.
Yeah.
No kidding.
You know, I don't go anywhere without, you know, at least having perfect hair.
Yeah, I mean, have you
Yeah,
seen
but you're
Tiny's
saying
family? I mean, look at that space worm.
Yeah.
Fucking
But
space worm.
Motherfucking space worm.
But yeah, so you've
Now, was this the Asian guy that was like, or who are we talking about?
Yes, it was the Asian guy and David Pacman. He's dropped his spaghetti. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's Arthur
Yeah.
Chi, the guy that made Tweet Like Not Your Shield.
Horrible, horrible human being.
Yeah.
What's he done that's horrible, by the way? Because I honestly don't know much about this dick.
Well, for starters, he's an ex-Nazi.
Oh, that's
that's wrong. That's wrong.
People
Wrong
mix
Asians
them
mixed
up.
up.
My apologies.
Wrong Asians. God, you're being racist towards Asians.
I am a
You just
horrible
can't tell the
Lord,
difference,
I know.
can you?
Doesn't he call himself a banana?
I don't know.
That was
I'm
Chong.
checking my privilege now. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
I
shit,
think-
Lord.
I think that was
Oh,
Chong.
okay, wrong one.
I'm not sure.
I always laugh when someone calls Arthur Chi the Nazi for some reason.
You know, he's the terrible comedian, isn't he?
Yes, he's the
Yeah.
unfunny.
He's the Jeopardy winner. The
Yeah.
Jeopardy winner.
Yeah.
Is he? You'd
Yeah.
think the
Oh,
Jeopardy
so
winner
he's
would
the
be
one who
smarter.
harbored the rapist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the one.
Yeah, okay.
He's also a deplorable human being and should be shot into the sun.
To clarify my earlier point, even though he's not an ex-Nazi, he's still a horrible, horrible human being.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well done, John. And that's
From
coming
what
from
we
an
can
Amish
tell.
person. That's coming from an Amish person, so you know it means business.
Yeah, I know. When he's talking about dem English folk.
Yeah. Ooh. I'm gonna raise a barn afterwards. My name's John.
Hey, they're good at raising barns.
They bloody well are.
All I gotta say is that's some major cultural appropriation going on from him, and as a white person, I am offended.
I'm offended by all of you fucks using bangs. The British invented that shit.
Ooh. Shit, son.
Yeah.
My ancestors probably came over on the Mayflower, so I'm all for imperialism. No, I'm just
My
Good job.
family did.
Yeah,
I'm
no
related
doubt.
to Columbus, so I killed a bunch of people, I guess.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, you're a mass murderer.
Yeah, I
you
know.
were a bit of a dick.
You in
yeah.
hell.
Well, I don't have a dick, but, you know.
You're the
But you
one
were-
with the smallpox blankets.
Yes, I was that one.
Do
Oh,
you have
see,
it?
sorry.
No, it's okay. Say that again.
I was just going to say, my ancestors came over from Italy trying to make a wine company, so my ancestors are responsible for everyone's alcoholism.
And the mafia.
There you go. Yep.
I love that little arc in The Sopranos about like the Italian Americans versus the Native Americans. Sorry, I don't know why that reminded me of it. But, if you haven't watched The Sopranos, go watch it. It's a great show. What's wrong with you?
Shouldn't you be checking the chat and like making sure our guests are well fluffed?
I fluff all of my guests. Okay, they are well looked after. Okay. None of them have bought me fucking Call of Duty yet. But...
Yeah, worst doorman ever.
Well, it's alright. Hey, Pigeon, it's okay. Nobody's bought me Bayonetta 2, so we're even.
I
okay.
thought someone gave you it, Tara. Someone was going to give you it because they didn't have it.
No. They said they were guilty of buying Bayonetta 2 just to spite the SJWs, and they're like, but I've already got my reservation in for my Wii U for Christmas.
Oh, well, you should steal that too. Go around their house, steal the game, steal the Wii U, and then punch them in the face.
So I thought this stream went well. Once we got past of John's technological problems, it kind of just went on smoothly.
But yes, start. What's the question you ask all the guests? That was actually quite good, and I think Yvonne should be subjected to the same level of scrutiny.
It's a terrible question. I'm trying to write a hit piece here.
Okay. I'm all for hit pieces.
All right. What do you what do you think Gamergate needs to do better, or what do you think they need to focus on for us to be more successful or efficient?
I think Gamergate's doing a pretty good job so far. I think a little bit more focus on one thing at a time instead of trying to spread the attention between multiple different things. Kind of focus on one and get it down. Kind of like I equate it to being in a raid, for example, and you in a World of Warcraft raid, and you've got these different bosses that you have to focus all of the DPS on one boss each at a time to bring them down one at a time instead of trying to DPS all the bosses individually. I think that's what Gamergate should do, is start focusing on one aspect at a time and getting that aspect taken care of and then moving on something else. Because right now it's like you've got all the DPS, you've got the hunters and the mages and the shadow priests all DPSing, 3 different bosses at the same time, and it's kind of a mess.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, because that's exactly what needs to happen. We need
I
to
would just
be
like
more
to
focused.
point out that aren't us girls not supposed to know what DPS means?
I've been playing World of Warcraft since vanilla, so,
Deep?
Yeah, well, primarily.
Pigeon's not a real gamer. What's DPS mean?
Damage per second.
Yeah. They're the heavy damage dealers.
I know that. I was trying
to
to catch Pigeon up and see if he actually knew what it meant.
Oh, Pigeon won't know anything about this technical jargon.
Yeah. He sucks.
But I have to, unfortunately, start packing up and heading on home. I'll be back home about 7:15, depending on traffic. But if you guys, on a non-Gamergate related topic, and just to shield myself out, I guess it's kind of Gamergate related, maybe, I don't know. I do doodles, so if you guys want me to draw anything for you, if you take a look, Pigeon's avatar and my avatar, those are examples of my comical doodles. If you guys want me to doodle anything.
Look at what mine is. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is.
Space worm.
It's not a space worm.
I wasn't quite sure. I don't know. It kind of looks like a colon or something.
A colon?
A colon. I don't know.
I'm a space colon.
Oh, a space colon. Okay. Well, that works.
No. It's a very shitty paint drawing of the Star Wars species Athorians.
Well, you guys are probably gonna rag on me for this, but I never watched Star Wars or Space Wars, or I watched Spaceballs. If that counts.
Get out.
That would do. That would do. Fine.
Hey, that's alright. I think the biggest offense so far I've heard throughout Gamergate is the fact that Monday Matt hasn't seen a Space Odyssey 2001.
To be fair, I didn't either.
I
didn't either. I'm sorry, Tara.
Y'all need to check your nerd privilege. My God.
My power level's too low.
If my nerd cred counts for anything, I was playing Dungeons and Dragons since middle school, and I also played the very first graphical multi-user or multiplayer online game, the original Neverwinter Nights for America Online back in 1993 to 1997. So there's that. Yeah.
So did you get into EverQuest then? Because I heard World of Warcraft. So EverQuest, yes, no?
Yes. After Neverwinter Nights died, when America Online decided to nix it because it wasn't upgradable, we all kind of exited. What's the word I'm looking for? We all moved over to EverQuest. Didn't get big into EverQuest as I did with Neverwinter Nights. As soon as World of Warcraft came out, I jumped onto that because I wasn't huge into EverQuest. In fact, I even bought EverQuest 2 and played that for a little while. Didn't get too far in that, but World of Warcraft's been my addiction. World of Warcraft and coffee are my addictions.
Very cool.
So before we go way off topic, I think things have kind of died down and King of Pole's got his stream going. So Pigeon, Cerberus, do you have any idea when do you want to end this stream?
Well, we've been. Let me just check what the time is.
We've been going for about 3 hours now.
I'd say that would be a healthy time to call it.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should probably just end it right now. We can continue our discussions off stream.
John has to nuke it though, so.
All right, well, before I log off here, just going to show myself out. Go ahead and follow me, if you will, on Twitter at MusiCat. I'll go ahead and just type that in the Yahoo, or not Yahoo, the YouTube chat room, or you can put it in description. Either way works for me. But I got to run. Thank you guys so much for having me.
I'm going to spam you for more drawings.
Works for me. Anyway, talk to you all later.
See ya.
Bye.
Way to use that nepotism, Pigeon.
Huh?
Just,
Oh, Tara, I'm going to piss you off for a moment.
I'm busting his chops. Oh, okay, what's going to upset me? Go ahead.
I've seen most of 2001, and from what I saw, it's very, very boring and not very interesting.
It is boring.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm a nerd shit
no, honestly, it kind of is. But that's a part of its charm.
When did you get to watch a TV, John? Actually, how the hell are you on the internet? Seriously.
I'm mind controlling someone else. It's technically not against my Amish standards.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I thought you just had a tin cup and a piece of string. We're talking into that really loudly.
Well, I thought today's stream was very successful.
I do too.
Are we ending now? I heard that we read.
Let's make our closing statements and then we can continue off stream.
Wait,
Okay.
hold the fuck up. I think Gwen's supposed to be coming on still, right?
I don't
just
know.
went to go get
That's
some
not
sweets.
confirmed. Did she give you a DM?
Oh, wait, shit. I can't hear you guys. 2 seconds.
Some people in the chat told me she wanted to get on, but I didn't hear that from her herself, so I don't think. I don't know if she sends you or me or DM saying she wants to get on. We'll gladly have her on.
She did want to come on earlier, but I don't know. She was taking a lot of flack from 8chan earlier, which was out of line, really. People calling her a shill, an SJW plan, all sorts of shit.
Oh, that's bullshit.
I think she said she wanted to talk off the stream, but I'm gonna wait for her to respond in the chat.
Okay, well then, if she wants to come on, we'll gladly have her as a guest. If she wants to go off stream, that's fine too. I don't want to put her on the spot, so.
Well, we got.
We're not. Let's guys. Don't end yet. We still need Gwen to come on.
Yeah, I'm waiting for her to say something in chat.
Well, no, I've shown her the link in Skype.
Oh, okay.
A while ago.
Okay.
Oh, he's actually.
We
oh,
got
well,
up to
you
like
could have told us that
50
about
something
15
viewers.
minutes ago.
Well,
Oh,
your
damn.
mum.
Oh, your dad.
Oh,
Your grandma.
my dad left me.
Cousin.
We've got more viewers. Open house.
Nice.
Ha 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 ha.
Hello,
What, the
Gwen.
American one?
By three two viewers.
Yeah. Well, oh, who's in the echo chamber of?
Well, there's
Yeah.
actually only 3 people in there.
Who's in there?
Oh,
They've got Liam on there from earlier on our stream.
Oh, okay.
You know what's hilarious is I think it was almost from the beginning, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks into Gamergate, Internet Aristocrat said that somebody should set up a Twitter account that's responsible for like scheduling all the streams or posting them all out, and then everybody can just follow it and know what the hell's going on. And here we are, almost 3 months later, still talking about how it'd be such a great idea, and nobody's done it.
yeah,
Yes,
that's
actually,
all.
to contradict that, some people already have. There is a Twitter account that is trying to get all the streams like coordinated and centralized. Hello, Gwen.
Keep talking.
Oh, okay, I'll just say my piece and then let you go. What was it? I lost my train of thought. Gwen, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Gwen Lily Knight, and I find personal attacks to be the most funny thing in the entire world. There's a lot more to me, but that sums it up for now.
Yeah, I think they're hilarious too. I mean, people need to stop being so offended a lot of the times.
Yeah, today for me has all my spoons. I even missed doing my usual daily game design streams because there's been a lot of crazy stuff happening today. And part of it was my doing, but I diffused it quickly because I'm really good at diffusing situations. The rest of it is there's been this thread on HeyChen someone posted about my video, calling it weaponize gay marriage. It's a funny little thread, and it's sudden after a while, as 4chan style threads are known to do, it turned into a bunch of shit. But the kind of shit that's on it is interesting and different from the kind of shit I usually see when I bother reading threads. And a lot of it is incredibly hilarious. So I can start there, or I can start by talking about how witch hunts are going on and how to defuse them. Either way.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about your personal experience, maybe, or would you rather not talk about that?
I can talk about any of it. Let me talk about the stupid shit I did this morning and how people reacted to things and some of the other stuff I've seen on Twitter. So I didn't even know about this Denton guy. I didn't know he had made this post. It shows I'm always got my head buried in something because I've been doing research and trying to do my usual shit. And I realized that a lot of people were getting a lot of the problems we've been going through lately is they're trying to point at the bigger voices we are and go after them as a way to try and silence everything and cause strife and division. So I started and said, all right, you know what? And I made a post saying, hey, Rogue Star, you're a bit of a spaz. I don't always agree with you, but no one should censor him. He does not represent Gamergate. Calm down. That was my first one. And Roguestar retweeted it and refollowed me for that. I don't really know what he's thinking sometimes, but I appreciate that he can take it. Because what I was saying in that one was they don't represent Gamergate. We need to break that narrative. I did another, and also what I'm trying to do is say, look, we can disagree with each other. That's not the same as tone policing. Because a lot of people are getting disagreements confused with tone policing, and are then tone policing the people with the disagreements, which I find hilarious. So people that are anti-tone policing are currently tone policing.
So police.
Basically, that's what's going on, and let me get to my big example. So, and I mentioned I think Cop is an idiot, but he doesn't represent me. He's free to do what he wants. I'm not telling him to stop what he's doing. No one should tell him to stop doing what he's doing. Let Poll be Poll. It doesn't have effect on me. He doesn't represent the movement. He's just himself. He does his own thing. Whatever. I have an opinion. Does it matter? No, my opinion doesn't matter. But it's there. We can disagree. We need to remember that we can disagree. We don't have to agree. The movement, these people, all of us, none of us in this room, none of those people, thousands of followers, none of us are the movement. And I was going through and trying to, in my own kludgy, stupid way, diffuse the notion that all of these big names are important and we're not allowed to disagree with them. No, we are. And so then we get to, I decide, okay, you know what? Ralph's a sweetie. So I made a post and I said, Ralph's a sweetie, but I think his write-ups are Daily Mailer-ish, but he's not the movement. I'm not censoring him. And Ralph took it the wrong way because I didn't word it right. I didn't actually properly make my point because Twitter sucks and I did bad word choice. I was basically saying, I then later apologized for my bad word choice, but the main point is he blew up. He's like, oh my god, you're a shill. And I started being jumped on for being a shill. And then I was told I was tone policing him. And I was like, what? I was just showing that I can disagree and have a dissenting opinion, but I'm saying that I'm not censoring him. He can continue to post whatever he wants. And I think he's a sweetie. I think he's better when he's streaming than when he's writing articles, because then you get, his personality comes out, and that's much better than his writing. I'm sorry, it's how I feel. But people started jumping on me and trolling me. And of course, I handle trolls the way I always do, and they ended up just laughing. I actually ended up getting 50 followers out of all this, but I ended up with Ralph going, okay, I understand. You weren't attacking me. I get it now. And then someone made a post saying, look, we can have discussions and disagree. And it's like, yes, we can. That's the point. We can have disagreements. We don't have to agree. Ralph is not Gamergate. I'm not Gamergate. And we need to stop saying that when someone has a disagreement, it's tone policing, because then you're tone policing the person with the dissenting voice. I don't have to think everyone in this room. Hell, I got my own bullshit. I'm a derp. I'm not well spoken. I sometimes post really stupid things, and when I'm off my meds, I do stupid panic attacky things. I'm a fallible human being. We all are, but none of us represent the movement. We need to make sure that rhetoric is there. And if people want to spam Twitter saying bad things about me or criticizing me, sure, fine, go ahead. I welcome it. I might ignore it, I might laugh at it, or I might actually engage you in discussion and ask questions and see why you think the thing you think. And I've been going through and I made a Twitter thread explaining how to tell shills apart and tell what's going on and sort of how to diffuse these situations in the infighting, and we had a discussion with people on how to diffuse infighting, which I can also just read all the best posts of if you want. But what we're currently going through now is the Denton article. He doesn't have to actually be paying anyone to do anything. We're doing it ourselves. We're suddenly overreacting to anyone disagreeing with anyone and calling them out as shills. And this is something that's been going on, but it's getting worse. Calling people shills and doing all this is tone policing. If you have no real proof, all you're doing is my feels, then you know what? Just ignore the person. Done. But we have people who say that they are anti-tone policing that are now tone policing because they think that people that are disagreeing must be shills, and so they're tone policing. It's kind of a weird knee-jerk. There's all this knee-jerk, and if you look at a lot of the conversations on the tags today, there's been this big witch-hunting mentality ever since the Denton article came out. He doesn't need to have paid shills. We're doing it to ourselves.
Well, it's definitely an option to keep open, but yeah, I don't really believe in the Nick Denton post at all.
Me neither.
I don't think many of us here are totally sold on that. That blazingly.
The problem is that a lot of people are, and they're knee-jerking everything.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of witch hunting going on because of that, and yeah, even Internet Aristocrat believes the Nick Denton post is bullshit. A lot of us we don't think it's real necessarily. But when it comes to the tone policing thing and what you were getting at about certain people not being the movement, I think that's less about them being the movement, and when they have such a following and such a powerful voice, they're seen more as a leader. And as much as nobody will say it, they are the leader. Based on how powerful the voice is, they're going to be seen as one. And that's something that we kind of need to stop doing. We kind of need to spread the view around.
It's called de facto leadership.
It's what they've been laughing at us ever since we started saying that, and ever since one of our main people gets called out on it. No, I'm not going to accept responsibility for this. We're a leaderless movement. And that's what happens before an apology, usually about something stupid that was said. So, it's something we're not gonna change that. I don't think we're gonna change that narrative within ourselves, especially when new people keep coming on to the hashtag and adding their bits and bobs. They've decided to start speaking after siding with one popular narrative, and that is the popular narrative. I think it'd be almost impossible to change now. People should have responsibility.
I've been trying to change it, but I'm starting to think that you can't, but
Oh, you can. Well, because because of past events, some people are figuring out, with all the tone policing going on, that you can't necessarily get away with. I don't know exactly how I want to phrase this.
It's only small groups. It's only small groups of people that are having discussion. It's not the large majority. So.
Yeah, and what I'm trying to do is make streams more about individual gamergaters, bringing people on, seeing what they have to say, rather than having closed discussions on streams. We want to constantly just bring in new people, keep rotating them, hear what actual gamergaters have to say, rather than having a closed-off stream and kind of having one big following on one person. We kind of need to spread it around. I mean, I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about some of these people. I'm just saying we kind of need to spread this all back from one side of Gamergate.
I think these are a good step.
So that's what we want to do with these streams. We want to just keep bringing people in.
I think we did a good job, guys. Well.
Before we close out, Dart, what was the question you've been asking everybody?
I've been asking everybody what they think Gamergate needs to do to be more efficient, to be more focused, and what we should do to have Gamergate succeed. And so, Gwen, if you could answer that question.
Oh, God, that's a hard question. I guess at this point, whenever someone has good information or good video with good information, spread it. I mean, our biggest strength is spreading information, and it feels like so much focus is being made towards these leaders who, not all of them are very responsible, that it's hard to spread information if we don't find alternate means to spread the smaller people that have information and are trying to spread information, because there's a lot out there. And I'm constantly going, what? I didn't even know that was a thing. We're not spreading our information among each other very effectively, especially stuff that the lesser known people may have and the opinions they may have. We need to find, like, I know signal boosters, and I've been started to learn how to get between 20 to 100 tweets on just about anything, though I've upped that to about 30 to 100 tweets. I'm working really hard at finding the signal boosters and finding stuff that needs to be signal boosted and getting it fucking signal boosted, but it's still hard because even they have only so much reach.
Right, and that's something we're going to do next time that we do the stream. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or if we're going to skip rest a day and do it on Thursday. It might be a Tuesday, Thursday thing. I don't know. But when we go to do a stream, I mean, I've got, Margaret Gell, who really sent like 30, 40 people our way.
Yep.
Which was great. And then I'm going to try and get, Whiskey to kind of signal boost us and Claw and Order to signal boost us as well. So
if you DM me a link, I will then take that link and send it to all the top signal boosters I know. Just as long as there's like a day's warning, I can probably get you a ton of retweets.
Gwen, just before we shell out, the 8chan thread, there was a very interesting comments in there that which is the message that a lot of us have been trying to say about tabletop. They were saying it isn't part of Gamergate, which is a really specific attack to the message that we've been trying to say. So I don't know who those people are who started that thread, but it's kind of interesting.
It is, and in some of my latest video and a video I've been trying to get help tweaking, I might just release it raw at this point. There are just so many connections. Like, I've already got a video out which shows that one of the top White Wolf publishers is completely anti-Gamergate and friends with literally Woo.
Wow.
Interesting.
Well, isn't she friends with everyone? I mean...
She's friends with everyone.
He's also friends with Frim Frequency.
Yeah, he is. I would say to anyone who disagrees that it's it has nothing to do with Gamergate. I think what I've learned through researching tabletop, because I didn't really think it was that big of a deal either. It's the psychology. Like, you learn so much about what they want to see in games and what they actually have problems with. You sort of learn more about your enemy than you ever could in gaming.
I concur, having looked over the same research and discussed it.
I agree completely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, is this a hug box now? Damn it!
Oh no!
Right, everyone off themselves. Right
No,
now.
no, no, no. We just
On
have to
air.
make a new stream that's not a hug box.
Okay.
I wonder.
All right, well,
Can I just post one question about the HN thread?
Go ahead.
Why? Alright, so they mentioned tabletop has nothing to do with Gamergate, and they were obviously attacking me, and all this seemed to come to a head when I released my video about what's his face, Hate Wheels, at Hate Wheels, I forget his actual name.
Hot
On
Wheels.
Mark, and now look
No,
at the thread about me and how everyone, I'm getting it, they're saying tabletop has nothing to do with anything. I'm just wondering if there's a connection, I have no proof.
Yeah. And on that note, like, I've heard from you and Sour the kind of stuff that goes on with this tabletop industry and how they're being infected with SJW bullshit. It's possibly even more scary than what's going on with games right now, because it's like they don't want to just control the games, they want to control the player's imagination, which really disturbs me.
Which, I mean, when you get back to it, I mean, why do you have to control the games when you can simply just fucking imagine that all the triggers and stuff exist in your game to begin with? I mean, your tabletop game can be anything. These people don't have to control something like that.
I'm gonna cast a counter spell to that SJW bullshit.
That counter spells trigger me.
X card.
X card.
I guess we can't talk about anything then, John. Thanks.
I X carded everything.
There are no homebrew cards allowed on my magic table.
Well, if it's an SJW magic table, then X cards have to be used, and you have to listen.
And believe.
Fuck, I was gonna say it, John. Fuck you.
All right. It was great having you on, Gwen, and also just want to say congratulations to you and your partner.
That thing went way too viral.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Congratulations.
Thank you. I could actually discuss a lot of that at some point if people really want, but I'm surprised that went so viral. There's like 2,000 views on that, and like my average video just has like 8 views. It's hilarious. I don't know why that went viral.
Well, it's very
you know,
positive, I think.
Gamergate. Well, I think it's time to cut the stream off. I thought it went real well. We brought in a lot of fascinating people, and we will probably do this.
Pigeon deserves credit.
Okay, Pigeon brought in a lot of fascinating people.
Okay.
Yeah, he even got Tara and Sour Grapes in here, so, you know, really
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah, sorry, Sour. I did originally invite you on for 15 minutes, but it turns out that you were here for the long haul. Sorry about that.
I'd rather do this than play art games, so yeah, thanks.
That's fair enough.
No, I'd love to have Sour as a co-host in the future as well.
That'd be great.
She's great to have on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Thanks.
So we'll probably do this again. I don't know when you guys want to do it, like tomorrow or Thursday.
I'd rather not tomorrow because I'd rather take breaks between doing these streams. And honestly, I think I have been doing way too many streams. Like, people want me on, I'm like, all right, I'll come on, and sometimes I just don't really have much to say. So I'd rather if we keep this up as a regular thing, I'd rather every other day than every day.
Also, yeah, I think it helps because that not much news happens in one day, you know?
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, we did brilliantly. Well done, guys.
Yeah, what happened to Cerebus? Does he want to make any closing remarks, or is he just gone?
He just left. He's like, fuck you guys.
I didn't say goodbye earlier because I was at my I was at a doctor's appointment, and the guy who was on at the time, he was making a lot of really good points, and I didn't want to like just jut in to say goodbye.
That's okay, Tara. Don't worry.
It's okay, Tara. You're welcome anytime.
Yay,
All right,
happy to
well-
be here.
We'll chat. We'll be back sometime, maybe the Thursday. Thanks for watching and participating.
Yes, Cerebus, you want to make any closing remarks or just say goodbye?
Sex for favors.
Lies, secrets, cover-up, corruption.
I've seen the truth, and now it's time you get the full story. This is the Jade Fox conspiracy.
On that note, I will update the stream description.
I'm an
when you went-
SJW.
Alright,
9/11 was an inside job.
all right. I will update the stream information to include every guest Twitter contact. You can find Cerebus, myself. Actually, I don't think I actually have my Twitter contact there. I'll update that. I'm an Amish fag. I will have Cerebus, Pigeon. Everyone will be there. Follow everyone who's in there currently. Maybe some people didn't get on right be in there because I'm such a derp. So that will be updated. And have a great night, guys.
Oh, wait, one last thing. Sunday. Remember Sunday.
Yes,
We'll
there
have
will
some
be a
extra-
stream Sunday for sure. All right.
Yeah,
good
we'll
night.
have some Not Your Shields.
Yes, definitely.
Remember the 5th of November.
Oh, I do. Trust me. I'm gonna tomorrow. My dog's gonna be having a nervous breakdown. She hates fireworks.
All right. Have a good night.